just how not just bright and sharp they are, but just good people. Right. And around the office, we often refer to them as the dads.
Yeah. The dads?
They're the dads. They're dads. They are dads. Okay. And we've met their families. And when you see people on that very personal level, it starts to mean so much. They right. are a part of our team. You know, they're not a customer. They're our team. They're not a payload. They're right. our team. They're a family. And so we're just so excited to see the dads up there today.
Yeah. Go dads.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go send it over to Gary for an update from Houston. Gary?
Hey, Marie. The space station team here is focused. All eyes are on the system checks that are happening across the board, and we're listening in as we close in on launch. And I can tell you that things are looking very good. Chris Cassidy will be watching from the International Space Station, right now flying over the Pacific Ocean. It's heading to cross right over the launch pad. We might even get some good views from the station. Hope to be capturing those. We'll have the launch view on the big screen up front, and everyone's excited to see our 2 crew members on their way to the International Space Station. But before we get to it, I just want to pass on good luck from the entire flight operations community here in Houston. It's always exciting to be doing something wholly new and history-making with station operations, and we can't wait to see our team members Bob and Doug in low Earth orbit and heading to the International Space Station. That's it from us here in Mission Control Houston. I'll send it back over to the team in Hawthorne for the latest happening there. John.
T-minus 20 minutes, 30 seconds. We're continuing to count down. Everything is still looking good for launch of Falcon 9 and Dragon. 22 minutes, 45 seconds after the hour.
Stage
right
2
now on the
RP1
right-hand
mode is
side,
complete.
you can see a large white cloud coming off of the strongback. That is normal. As we get ready to load the second stage with liquid oxygen, we have to chill in the plumbing lines going up that strongback. And so as we relieve pressure, the moist, humid Florida air condenses around it, and that gives you the cloud. So that tells us that things are actually on schedule. We did begin propellant load at T-minus 35 minutes. Fuel loading on the second stage, I believe we just heard the call out that it is complete. First stage fuel load is continuing, and right now that's a little more than, that's about 60% of the way full. So things are looking good. Second stage is getting ready to begin the liquid oxygen loading. After they finish chilling in the lines that you see on the monitor, they'll begin the load at T-minus 16 minutes and 30 seconds. The range right now is go, ready to support. Weather continues to be go. As we inch our way closer, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're waiting to hear if anybody calls out an issue, but for the moment, as you can see on the screen, it looks good. Now, on the Dragon side, the Dragon mission director and the team there are reporting no issues. They've done their communications checkouts. The crew access arm, as you can see, is retracted away from the spacecraft. The crew is strapped in, and they are ready to go. Now, final instructions will be going to the crew at T-minus 10 minutes. The crew displays will be configured for launch, and that setup will give astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley insight into how the launch is proceeding and provides constant updates on vehicle health. We've already heard the crew give their go, close their visors, and get ready for launch. For Dragon, it'll enter terminal count at T-minus 5 minutes. When it transitions to internal power, we'll hear continued call-outs on the countdown net as we get close to zero and to liftoff. But right now, at T-minus 18 minutes, 15 seconds, everything continues to be go for an on-time launch. So, Dan, Jesse, things are looking pretty good. How are they doing over at your stand?
Things are great from about 15 feet away from you, John, and honestly, things are looking pretty great down at the pad there. We're seeing a lot more blue in the sky. Green is the color we want when we're talking about weather, and that's where we're sitting right now. So we're continuing to count down. We are under 18 minutes away from liftoff. Again, it's an instantaneous liftoff it's going to be 12:22 and 45 seconds here on the West Coast, 3:22 and 45 seconds over on the East Coast there in Florida. Just a reminder, it's going to be about a 9-minute ride up to orbit for the Falcon 9 and Bob and Doug on board Dragon. It'll be a 2-stage flight. So we'll see the first stage fly until we hear MECO, or main engine cutoff, about 2.5 minutes into flight. After that, the second stage will take over and continue to power them the rest of the way. Second engine cutoff comes in just under 9 minutes at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds. Following that second stage completing its job, it'll continue to coast for about 3 minutes. It'll do a slight attitude adjustment and null out any rates, so make sure it's not in any kind of a spin before they do separation. So that's when the Dragon spacecraft will physically separate from the Falcon 9 vehicle, and Bob and Doug will be flying free. It's about a 19-hour ride if we launch today on time. So that means Bob and Doug will get on orbit. They'll have a number of burns, or those firings of those Draco thrusters that they'll do over
Stage 2 LOX load started.
We hear the LOX. The liquid oxygen load has now started on stage 2. But again, they're going to be doing a series of burns on the way uphill towards the International Space Station 5, spread out over the first 16 hours or so of their flight until they get much closer and it's time for that approach and docking. And we are expecting that with an on-time launch to happen today. That'll be coming tomorrow in the afternoon. All right, now that we're under 16 minutes away, we have a special guest joining us. I'm going to toss it over to Jesse.
We are T-minus 15 minutes and 45 seconds from liftoff of our second demonstration mission today, and we have the honor of having SpaceX's President and COO, Gwen Shotwell, join us. Thanks, Gwen, for coming out and taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Thanks, Jesse.
We know you've been on console. How's the countdown been going so far in there?
Countdown is clean today, just like it was Wednesday. We did clear the weather hurdles sooner than we did on Wednesday. And the only thing we're watching right now is downrange weather and lightning at the staging location.
Of course.
But we will clear that hurdle at T-minus 7 minutes.
Awesome. Great. Very exciting. Now I'm going to throw it back to 2012 because you were on console for Dragon when it was first making its way to the space station. How does that experience compare to today?
Stage 2 LOX is on the DPUs.
So I was nervous then. I stopped getting nervous for launches. Today I'm nervous again. Super nervous. Stomach and throat.
Understandable.
No, it's a fantastic day today. I'm really excited. The team is pulled together. It's such a professional operation. And when I say team, by the way, I mean SpaceX and NASA. These folks have been working incredibly hard and have done a fantastic job.
Yes, and we are all so excited. And we know that you have to get back inside of Mission Control, but is there anything that you wanted to say before liftoff to NASA and SpaceX?
Well, I want to thank NASA, of course, for their generosity and their help with getting to this place. I want to thank all the SpaceXers who have come together to make this moment in history. And I want to thank Elon for hiring me.
We thank Elon for hiring you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to Mission Control. And good luck with launch today.
Thanks, Jesse, and Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
Well, we are so excited. We are just a few minutes away from countdown, so we are going to turn it over to Dan and John for the final minutes in terminal count. Take it away, John.
T-minus 13 minutes, 30 seconds, continuing to count down. We're continuing to load fuel onto the first stage. That should finish up in just about 6 minutes. Fuel is completely loaded on the second stage. That's closed out. And we are continuing to load liquid oxygen on both the first and second stage. The liquid oxygen load beginning on the second stage just about 3.5 minutes ago. We are also loading cryogenic helium into the storage vessels on the first and second stage, getting in the last little bits of helium when we keep it cryogenic, cold and liquefied. That gets us, just like we do with liquid oxygen, the maximum amount into the storage volume so that we can get the most performance out of the vehicle. Right now, we are in a fairly quiet state on the vehicle. Ground pumps continuing to put the propellant in to first and second stages. Next significant issue, callouts that we're going to hear will probably be inside the T-minus 10 minutes when they talk to the crew. We'll listen for that. But at the moment, everything continuing to look good at T-minus 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
We're getting real close now, John. It's only a little over 12 minutes away. Just a reminder for everybody, it's about a 9-minute ride uphill. We'll have some dueling boxes going on as that first stage is going to be coming home while the second stage is carrying Bob and Doug into orbit. But obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on our astronauts the whole way uphill. Some of the calls that you'll be hearing, as there will be what we call performance calls over the Dragon to ground the entire way uphill. And you'll just hear some of the SpaceX engineers calling out trajectories and booster performance. So we're always looking for that word nominal. I know that's one of John's favorite words. That's one of mine too. We want to hear nominal as much as possible up on the way uphill. You might also hear some number and letter combinations, and those correspond to the different abort zones that Bob and Doug are in during their flight uphill. There's 1A and 1B, which signify that they're on the first stage. Those carry them from there in the Cape all the way up to about the very top of North Carolina. And then we'll have 2A through 2E or 2 Echo, and that will be on the second stage, and that goes from North Carolina all the way up to about the tip of Newfoundland, so in the northern Atlantic. And then there is a zone of the northern Atlantic that we're going to avoid, and so you should hear the call out be something similar to forward to Shannon, and that just refers to Shannon, Ireland, which they'll be going off the coast of Ireland at the later stages of the second stage if they have to abort. So just prepping you now for some of those calls. You're hopefully going to hear that word nominal a whole lot on the way uphill. 10.5 minutes. Things are pretty quiet. As John I said, it'll pick up right at about 10 minutes. We'll wait for the crew just to confirm that their displays are in order. The crew is already strapped in and reported that they are go for launch. And we'll continue to watch the fuel gauges tick up on the Falcon 9 vehicle until fueling cuts off at just about 2 minutes prior to launch.
Dragon, SpaceX confirmed displays are configured for launch.
SpaceX Dragon displays are configured for launch.
Copy. Bob, Doug, on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, it's been a huge honor to help you get ready for today's historic mission. Know that we're with you. Have an amazing flight and enjoy those views of our beautiful planet.
Thanks, Jay. It is absolutely our honor to be part of this huge effort to get the United States back in the launch business. We'll talk to you for more, but thank you.
Copy all. Thanks for those words.
The SpaceX Corps, so again, that voice that's going to be talking to Bob and Doug throughout their mission from right here in Hawthorne, just offering a few quick words. The crew did confirm their crew displays are configured for launch. We are coming up on 9 minutes and counting.
We've gotten through T-minus 10 minute with the crew discussions. Activity is now going to switch over to Falcon 9. Our next major event comes at T-minus 7 minutes. We begin what we call engine chill. Pre-valves will open. Those currently separate propellants on the first stage from getting down to the Merlin engines. We'll open the pre-valves. That allowed fuel liquid oxygen to flow to the top of the pumps. And more importantly, when we open the valves, that allow us to begin chilling the 9 Merlin 1D turbopumps on the first stage engine. It'll take a few minutes to get them cold enough to where they would then be ready to pass the large amounts of liquid oxygen through the pumps and into the main thrust chambers when we get to engine ignition at T-minus 2 seconds. We don't want to try to run highly chilled liquid oxygen through a warm pump. You would flash that into gas, and running gas through a high-speed pump is not a good thing. So right now, we are waiting for T-minus 7 minutes. That'll start the engine chill. Shortly after that, we will also get the fuel shutdown. Listening to the SpaceX launch director in the background there. As I mentioned, at T-minus 7 minutes as we start the chill, we will also get into the final topping off of stage 1 fuel, and then the fuel load will complete.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 engine chill has started.
We've heard the call out. Stage 1 engine chill has started. That's gone up to the crew so that they've got situational awareness. As I mentioned, the pre-valves are open. And now we are topping off first stage fuel, getting ready to finish the fuel load. Liquid oxygen load on first and second
Engine
stage
hydraulics at pressure.
will continue until the last 3 to 2 minutes of the countdown.
We should hear that call out RP1 load complete coming up in about 6 minutes. Again, RP1 is just that densified kerosene or that rocket fuel that Falcon 9 is going to be used to power Bob and Doug to orbit today.
And Stage 1 fuel is closed out.
Right on time. That call out indicates that the fuel loading on the first stage is complete. Draining back the lines now, so first stage and second stage fuel are complete. Liquid oxygen loading is continuing on both stages. You can see on the view on the left side of the monitor the condensation, the cold gas wrapped around the stages as the tank skins are chilled by the densified liquid oxygen, picking up the humidity
Falcon
from the
9 is in
Florida air.
self-line.
Looks like at this moment we're a little more than 90% full on the oxidizer on the first stage, ticking up towards that 80% mark on the second stage. We'll be counting down all the way till about 2 or 3 minutes, as John and I just said, until everything is loaded
Falcon
in
9
Falcon
heaters
9.
closing out.
And then we will be go for launch.
Dragon has transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Vehicle tanks pressing for strongback retract.
We're pressurizing the Falcon 9 tanks. We're going to open the clamp arm around the second stage and begin to retract the strongback. We'll move back about 2 degrees. That'll get us to the liftoff position. At liftoff, the strongback will then recline about 45
Strongback
degrees
retract has
away.
started.
Stage 2 RP1 bleed.
Launch director called out the strongback retract has started. On the left, you'll see it go back just a couple of degrees.
Stage 1 RP1 bleed.
We are just 4 minutes away from liftoff. Again, at this moment, Bob and Doug are really just laser focused on those displays. They have insight directly into Dragon and the Falcon 9. They're able to see where their fuel loading is at, how everything's progressing down with the count.
AFTS final setup started.
3.5 minutes from launch.
And the strongback is now reclining away from the Falcon 9.
MVAC igniter purges. Pogo bleed.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power.
Stage 1 LOX load closed out.
Okay, we're at T-minus 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stage 1 LOX load is closed out. Stage 2 will continue to load for about another half a minute or so. Once we get the completion of Stage 2 LOX loading, we have to vent down the line, so you'll see another large white cloud coming off of the strongback. That'll be normal. That'll happen
Vehicle
around
is transitioning to internal
T-minus
power.
1 minute and 40 seconds. We're going on internal power now.
Just a few seconds away from the Stage 2 LOX load being complete. It's been almost 9 years since we've been in this position. A lot of work done by thousands of people to get to this point. All our eyes focused on 2 now.
Stage 2 lock float is closed out. Propellant fills are complete.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Stage 2 LOX load complete. All fuel, all oxidizer on Falcon 9. 1 minute 34 seconds to go till launch.
Ground gas closeouts is starting.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed for launch.
Under a minute now, the FTS, the flight termination system, has been armed.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched. And so rises a new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go.
Falcon power telemetry nominal.
M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket. Reports say all systems are go.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
M1D throttle up.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through max Q.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
And we heard that 1 Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving at over 1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.
We heard we're throttling down the Merlin engines on the first stage. And we have Miko.
Miko.
2 Alpha.
Falcon stage separation confirmed.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed. The first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now carrying Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second stage.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over 5 minutes to go still on this second stage. You heard the call out to Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort zone that carries them all the way from about North Carolina up the eastern seaboard almost to Canada. Things looking good though, getting good call outs, nominal propulsion on that second stage. Bob and Doug continuing to make their way into orbit.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Acquisition of signal in Bermuda.
SpaceX Dragon nominal trajectory.
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill. Heard acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground stations that they're using to get telemetry and data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
A little over 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles
Dragon
per hour.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Already almost 200 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal trajectory continuing. And while they continue uphill, looks like we are getting a view of the first stage as well.
Yep, on your right screen, you can see that first stage with the grid fins deployed. It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship, Of Course, I Still Love You today. And we're just about a couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the 9 Merlin engines do ignite to help slow the vehicle down as it re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just a single engine
Dragon SpaceX
burn.
nominal trajectory.
And you heard
Nominal
Starting
trajectory.
chill for entry burn.
there's that call out. They are still on a nominal trajectory on Dragon, still on second stage, and that's that MVAC engine on second stage on your left screen. Again, on your right screen is that first stage booster coming back towards our drone ship, Of Course, I Still Love You. We're about a minute away from entry burn.
Meanwhile, that second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit. Again, if you're keeping an eye on that timer, that's going to continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44 seconds into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out SECO. It'll then be a little
Stage 2 propulsion is still good.
A little over 3 minutes until Dragon physically separates from the second stage of the Falcon 9 after the upper
Dragon
stage gets a
SpaceX
chance.
nominal trajectory.
Dragon copies, nominal trajectory.
Continuing to check in with Bob and Doug as they are on a nominal trajectory. Just about 10 seconds away from that first stage, starting that entry burn on your right screen. We should be able to see that view live.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there is that entry burn
Acquisition
beginning.
signal in your hands.
This burn lasts about 36 seconds long.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
While that entry burn continues, we're just about a minute away from SECO. We'll have a number of events all happen in rapid succession. It'll be the second engine cutoff.
Stage 1
We'll
entry
be
burn
looking
shut
for
down.
that stage 1 landing burn shortly after.
Yeah, actually, just within a few seconds of each other. such a cool view on your left screen, seeing Bob and Doug on Dragon. Right now you can see the displays that they are seeing right now themselves.
Terminal guidance.
MVAC throttle step.
We are coming up 25 seconds or so away from SECO, or second engine cutoff.
This is also the point where Bob and Doug are experiencing their highest G-force. We're seeing the counter tick up to right about 1.8.
Copy, Shannon.
You heard Shannon, so that just means they're in their final abort zones. If they were to abort at this point, it would either be an abort to orbit or to land off the coast of Ireland. Standing by for second cutoff confirmation.
MVAC throttle step. MVAC shutdown. Stage 1 landing winner.
Confirmation of SECO's second engine cutoff.
Now we are waiting for our first stage to make its way to our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Dragon SpaceX nominal orbital insertion.
It's confirmation nominal
Dragon
orbital
copy.
insertion.
Nominal orbital insertion.
Deploy.
And what you're seeing on your screen is a live view of our drone ship, where our first stage will be coming down. Looks like we lost that live view, but we'll wait for confirmation of that landing shortly here.
Falcon 9 first stage is successfully landed.
And there you can see on your screen, Falcon 9 has landed. This is the first Falcon 9 to carry humans to orbit, so very exciting for us. And as you can see on your right screen, Bob and Doug are still making their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
M1D.
It doesn't stop.
It does not stop.
All right, we did hear again that call out, good orbital insertion, so that means Falcon 9 and Dragon right now exactly where they're supposed to be.
M1D to FRC on recovery 1.
And it's right at about 12 minutes when Dragon will separate. Looks like we saw a 0G indicator floating around there. I know Bob and Doug owe us a little bit about what exactly that is that they brought up with them.
And before separation, before Dragon initiates separation from the second stage, they do make sure to they do ensure that the vehicle is not spinning and it is in good condition before we separate.
That's right. The upper stage does small attitude maneuver using some cold gas thrusters built into the rocket body itself.
Exactly. So we do expect that separation to occur in about a minute from now, but they do wait until they have full confirmation that it is ready to separate. Such cool views. I cannot get over this view that we are seeing right now. Bob and Doug on the right screen, inside of Crew Dragon, out in space.
Yeah, already 200 kilometers over planet Earth, or a little over 124 miles, traveling in excess of 2,700 meters, 27,000 meters per second, or about 16,000 miles per hour. Again, we're just standing by. That separation event should be coming up shortly. Then they'll begin a series of checks on the Draco thrusters that are going to be used to maneuver and then power Dragon on its flight to the International Space Station. Standing by for separation.
Expected loss of signal, Wallows.
It sounds like we had an expected LOS loss of signal with one of the ground stations. Waiting for confirmation now of that.
Dragon separation confirmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
There is a great view right in front of you of Dragon separating.
Separation confirmed.
And there's that call out. Dragon is now officially making its way to the International Space Station today.
Dragon SpaceX with that separation call. We have a few words for you from our Falcon 9 team.
Standing by.
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Dragon to Ground. Bob Doug, on behalf of the entire launch team, thanks for flying with Falcon 9 today. We hope you enjoyed the ride and wish you a great mission.
Thanks, Bala. Congratulations to you and the F9 team for the first human ride for Falcon 9, and it was incredible. Appreciate all the hard work, and thanks for the great ride to space.
Copy all.
And proud of you guys and the rest of the team. Thank you so much for what you've done for us today, putting America back into low Earth orbit from the Florida coast.
Thanks for choosing SpaceX Airlines, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the stream of the amazing launch. If you are watching live, we are going to be switching probably shortly over, unless something interesting happens, over to our All-Star event. So please stand by for that. Once again, we'll be doing the second rocket competition. All-Star event will be today, starting in just a little bit.
Deploys in progress.
Copy all. We're monitoring.
The Corps here in Hawthorne giving the crew a heads up that we have confirmation the nose cone is deploying. So again, that nose cone is going to open up a little bit more than 90 degrees, goes up to about, I think, 105 degrees, and that's going to expose the actual docking ring and the hatch that they're going to be going through once they attach to the International Space Station, and also 4 of those Draco thrusters, we call them the forward bulkhead thrusters, that are going to be used for these major phase burns or firings of those thrusters to actually raise their orbit gradually over the coming hours. Also heard good activation of the ECLSS, that's the Environmental Control and Life Support System. That's everything controlling their atmosphere, just keeping Dragon a nice, safe, habitable environment where they're going to be living for the next 19 hours until they arrive at the space station.
Right, exactly. And Falcon 9's job may be done for today, but the mission is not over. Crew Dragon's job is not done. As you can see, Bob and Doug are still inside Crew Dragon, making their way. It will be a 19-hour trip to the International Space Station before they dock tomorrow morning. And such cool views. I love that we can get these live views here and see and watch what they're doing now that they are in orbit.
Yeah, it's incredible to just be looking over their shoulder, to be along for the ride. And we're going to be with them, and we're going to be with all of you the entire way for their journey to the space station. We're going to be covering live throughout. Bob and Doug will obviously have a sleep period where they'll get about 8 hours of sleep a little bit later today before they wake up for all of their final approach. One of the major things we are looking forward to in the next couple of hours is going to be their first turn at the controls. So they're actually going to be using those touchscreen displays to take control and manually pilot Dragon. We'll walk you through what that's going to look like, and assuming we have some good ground station coverage, we'll be able to get views from right inside Dragon, looking over their shoulder as they manipulate the controls at the display. But I mean, we had a smooth ride uphill, both stages of the Falcon 9 doing their job, placing Bob and Doug into orbit. I mean, this is a day, this is a historical day. This is us kicking off that new era of space flight that we've all been talking about and longing for since the Space Shuttle program came to an end in 2011.
Yes.
And the weather cooperated.
Yes, second time's a charm.
Right.
All right, so day for the history books. As you can see, we have lost some live signal there, but the mission still continues, and we're going to send it over to KSC to continue broadcasting live with you.
Loss of signal, Newfoundland.
Yeah, Jesse and Dan, we are just in awe over here. When I woke up this morning and looked at the weather forecast, I was like, man, we're going to be back here on Sunday, but we did it, and the room cleared out. Everybody was outside watching, and inside the lights were shaking, the cameras were shaking. Lauren came back in with tears in her eyes. This is really amazing.
I can't believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. This is, I'm a little bit speechless. Just so grateful that we got them up there, and there's a lot more to go. But I'm so happy they're safe right now. I'm just so happy.
Yeah. Leland, you were talking about it. It's amazing what we can do when we work together.
Yes, American astronauts on an American rocket from American soil, showing you what Americans can do when we come together as a team and blast Doug and Bob off to the cosmos. This is what it's all about, and their families and everyone is working together to take them up to space safely. So I don't know what to say. That rocket fuel is still in my veins, and I want to go get on the rocket.
Well, it's too late now. Maybe the next one.
I know.
But we want to go over to Daryl at OSB2. He's there with the administrator, who hopefully has more words than we do, because we're still kind of speechless. Daryl?
Pretty incredible here, Marie, at the Operations Support Building, where a chorus of applause has been happening from the beginning of launch and throughout the various stages. Some very special guests.
A little inspiration. We gonna rock the bleachers. ST scientific. First, we gonna kick a little. First, we gonna give a little. First, it's gonna take a little energy. Yeah. First, 'cause we got the vision. First, and then we gonna build it. First, we gonna make a difference.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the SRC All-Star event. After that awesome NASA SpaceX launch, we are here with some awesome stuff of our own, albeit maybe not as cool as flying rockets. So here with Tyler from First Update Now, I'm Tegan, be your hosts for this afternoon with our All-Star event, our top 12 competitors from when we started playing ranked matches to now. There's going to be a few different game modes to keep it exciting, keep it different, keep it new. Captained by our top 2 competitors. So in our rankings, we had Cone 4946 ranked number 1 overall. So Cone as your first alliance captain, and then Brennan 4476 as your second alliance captain. Of the 12 people, there's teams of 6. They're going to be rotating their rosters throughout the different game modes. And I think other than that, we've got head ref for today. Cobby is here with us.
Hello.
We also have, of course, as I mentioned, Tyler from First Updates Now here with us today. So let's get into it. You saw earlier we had the things up on the screen, our 2 current teams. So captain of the first alliance, as mentioned before, Cone. His roster is composed of Nick 862. One sec, let me get this up again. Nick 862, Adam, Alex, Bacon, and Anthony. He'll be facing off against Brennan. Brennan's team composed of, obviously, Brennan, along with RJ9, Logan 4476, Richard, Labib, and Yan Yang. Yang Yang filling in here last minute as a backup robot for one of our top 12 who wasn't able to make it today. So he's looking to put on a show. Our first match style is going to be the Captain's Beatdown. So Captain's Beatdown here comprising of your captain from each alliance, as you see, Brennan and Cone, with 2 alliance partners of his choosing. Red Alliance here picking Nick and Anthony, Blue Alliance picking RJ and Logan. The only people allowed to score in this game mode are going to be Cone and Brennan. So between the 2 of them, their points are the only ones that counts. The other ones will be on defense duty the entire match. Any points they score will actually get subtracted from their match score and awarded to the opposite alliance, excluding fouls here. So those are the rules for Beatdown. It's going to be, I believe, a best of 3. But I'll just double check that for you all. Yep, that is a best of 3. And then we'll move on to our next game mode. So you're going to see people rotating in and out throughout the afternoon. That's decided by the captain and their teammates, who's going to be on the field. There are some modes where you can't be on the same style twice. So, for example, if you're in the Captain Beatdown, you're not going to be in our push spot match later this afternoon, and vice versa. Same goes for if you're in our 3v3, then you're not going to be in the 2v2 or the 1v1 later on. With that being said, we are ready to get this match underway, so we'll get the competitors to ready up. And we will go from there.
All right, let's start our first match coming up here on screen.
So, looks like Blue Alliance already off to a slow start as they only have 2 robots on the field, so that's going to hurt them. But remember, the only robots allowed to score here are the captains. So we see feeding strategies coming in from both alliances. RJ9 feeding Brennan, Nick doing the same for the Red Alliance. So Brennan and Cone now on a mission. We do see big defense coming in here from that Red Alliance as RJ9 is respawned out. So a tech foul already going to hurt the Blue Alliance. So again, we see Brennan here trying to score. We see Nick is mostly focused on feeding Cone, as is Anthony. Anthony here holding a full hopper will shoot those balls across the field. So that's a closer strategy there for the Red Alliance. Anthony and RJ now getting into a bit of it. We can see Anthony's trying to defend, but RJ9 will hold off as a counter defender for that Blue Alliance. Blue still 1 man down in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, I wonder how their strategy changed here, if that was the same feeding strategy Blue was going to do, or did they have to modify their plan based on one of the Blue Alliance members dropping out?
I would not be surprised if that is the case, Tyler. It looks like Blue Alliance here, they're keeping it close. Remember, it's 179 to 173 right now, so it is still in the Red Alliance's favor. But time for the Blue Alliance maybe to do a change of strategy, or hopefully for that third robot to get back on the field and help with the counter defense, because Cone right now is allowed to score undefended and is extending his lead even further. So RJ9 really helping Blue Alliance keep it close, but not able to do enough. Nick here, a big hit on Brennan will really delay that cycle, and Nick is able to pick up some of the power cells Brennan couldn't carry.
Yeah, in chat it looks like Richard's saying, by the way, that Logan's computer was heating up and he's going to try to come back in. I mean, you got to plan for that, though, ahead of time. Maybe, not putting it right above the radiant heater is a good plan.
Yeah, for sure. We see RJ shooting those directly into the wall, so those still not counting for any points. So far, we've only had legal scoring thus far, which is good to see these competitors. And with 20 seconds left, we'll see what happens in the end game. Obviously, it'll be Cone and Brennan both trying to climb. Would not be surprised to see some counter defense coming in, trying to do some climb defense, block from getting those shots in. Looks like Brennan really having a struggle here with Nick and Anthony on his back, but it looks like he did get the climb at the end. But Cone will take the early advantage in this series, best of 3. We'll see what they're able to do.
Yeah, definitely a rough go there for Blue. Having one less robot will make a big difference for them. So hopefully we'll get that third robot back in and be able to see a extra match played, because we want to extend all these if we can, best of 3 on this, and just keep this All-Star event really ticking throughout the whole time. So taking our for the next match in this best of 3, is the same robot going to be on offense, or do they have to rotate?
Nope, so it's going to be the captains the whole way through, Tyler. We're going to see Cone and Brennan continuing to battle it out. We do see here the tech foul coming in from Red. Blue wasn't able to secure one of their own, but the climb at the end was the same, so it's all down to cycle times. If you can get quicker cycles, then that'll work out. Now on the field, we only have one Blue Alliance robot, so Blue continuing to put themselves at a disadvantage. Looks like they are definitely not ready yet, Tyler.
I figured Brennan was just doing a new strategy. He was so disappointed with the counter D, he just kicked him out. He's like, I'm going to do it all myself.
We will see how they end up playing the game. Brennan saying no, LOL, not ready. RJ has to reconnect. Same with Logan.
So looking up on deck, so we're going to have our best of 3v3 matches, and then we're going to play a 6v0. I mean, how does that work? So you just said everybody is essentially scoring for the same alliance. You have all 6 people playing, is that right?
Yep, so you'll get all 6 members of the same team on the field at once, trying to put up as high a score as possible there. So it'll probably be one of the alliances will go first. We might do a coin toss there. Depends on what people want. And then from there, yep, it's 6v0. Let me see what series that's out of. That is going to be...
That's series number 2.
A best of 3.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so we'll do... so this is the best of 3 here with Captain Beatdown. Next, we go to a best of 5, 3v3. And then after that is complete, we will go to a 6v0 best of 3, a 2v2 best of 5, a 3v3 pushbot 2 best of 3, and a 1v1 best of 5 to round it off.
So Tegan, what do you make out of the lineup picks, by the way? Because this was a draft here. What do you make out of any surprises that you saw in regards to somebody taking either too early or maybe a good value later on?
I think you can definitely see the strategies looking for depth. We saw a lot of offensive picks in the first 2 rounds. We are seeing like Nick 862 is the first pick. He currently holds the world record for single player. So that's, Red Alliance picking up essentially almost a lock for that 1v1 later on.
No kidding.
And then, so, there you see, okay, does Blue Alliance opt to throw the 1v1, not worry about it? Or will they have Brennan play like their best shot at keeping it close in the 1v1?
I think you play Richard and just go all defense.
Complete defense all the way.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's what they end up doing. And especially with a 1v1, we will see, strategies will evolve. It's not like a one-off match. So I do have an announcement coming in from our head referee that we are going to replay that first match. So the score you see on the board, scrap it for now.
Ooh.
Just a bit of warm-up. Came in from our head referee, Cobby, who might be able to explain that a little more to our viewers. in just a second.
One of the Blue Alliance robots was not connected when the match started. So the match was started when it was still 2v3. And we had not announced that we wouldn't be waiting. So.
Saved by the potato processor.
For sure. So Blue Alliance there, a little bit of a sigh of relief. What started off as a rocky start, they do get a second chance, not having to do a reverse sweep if they want to take this first series. Tyler, what do you make of what you saw, though, in that last match? What do you think of the different strategies that come out when we're playing beatdown style?
I mean, I love seeing the Anthony passing the power cells over the trench run as they go through, and he was pretty accurate on most of them in regards to the distance, really. I mean, not hard to get the lateral accuracy correct in that, but in order to get the distance that you want out of it, it seemed like they had a pretty good plan of already practicing that quite well. In auto, though, I loved seeing Brennan getting the power cells passed to. I thought that was really cool with RJ just passing those right in auto right away. Very reminiscent of like a 2012 or something like that to me. So it was pretty cool to see something like that. And we actually saw that happen in Infinite Recharge this year as well, too, at the Kansas City Regional. There was Alliance who did that.
So definitely gonna see some big action coming in now. We are going to see what's up. Give me just a second. So we are getting reports in now that RJ9 has to leave the tournament. Another commitment coming up. So really big hit for that Blue Alliance. That was their first pick, going to someone who had to AFK before we even really got underway. So
you got to factor in the parental variable in that. That's what I call it. For if you're going to draft somebody that is under the age of 18 or a senior in high school, that to me is an X value. You have to apply to what their value is as well too. So that definitely might drop the stock in RJ9 in the future.
For sure. So a little bit of conversation right now on if we're going to swap game modes just to give us time to find a substitute for that Blue Alliance. Looks like we are going to go ahead and swap to doing Pushbot 2 first. So we're just going to check in with both the teams, but this will be the other three competitors that were going to be on the field. Playing with the Pushbot 2 robot. So obviously that's an FTC robot, not here normally for FRC purposes, but you are able to climb and you are able to do things like that with Pushbot 2, including low goal scoring. So we will see who, did people draft for Pushbot 2, or did they instead draft focusing on FRC? We'll see what they kind of chose in that picking meta. We did see obviously emphasis on offense scoring robots, but we'll see if maybe either alliance had an idea of what they wanted to do with the Pushbot matchup.
So do all 6 have to play as a Pushbot?
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
All 6 Pushbots on the field. So you're going to see a lot lower scores coming in here, Tyler.
Are you able to score any power cells?
Only holding one at a time. Pardon?
You're able to score some power cells, right? Because that arm will be able to score into the low port, right?
Correct. So low port scoring 1 power cell at a time, plus a climb at the end. We'll see who's able to kind of get that in.
Yeah, and it looks like to me the interesting play, looking at the initial lineup, then is that your probably best defensive bots are probably Richard and maybe Bacon on the other side. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Bacon and Richard are 2 of our top defenders. We've also seen a few people who have a little bit of versatility doing that. We've seen Logan play some before. We've seen Brennan even play some before if necessary. But with the Pushbot 2, there's also a lot more options for the physical robot. You can change your drivetrain gear ratio. You can change your robot weight. You can change a lot of things that'll change, kind of shake up how the how the game is played in ways that you don't see with Infinite Recharge.
Yeah, and Labib posting in that some of their strategy has been exposed already there. You saw Labib and Wan Yang carrying each other around in the field. So I'd be interested to see if that actually happens in the match, see how that plays out.
Yeah, and there on your screen, you see what a Pushback Climb looks like. So that arm, it's like a human arm almost with the base on the robot, and then that elbow that you can bend over the bar there, that generator switch. From there, it takes a little bit more time to line up, but some people have been grinding out that world record for the Pushbot. I think the current score is 65, held by both Adam and Alex, I believe, are your top two.
How do you get 65 points?
Well, a lot of it definitely coming in from the climb. For sure. You see if you get the climb plus the balance, that's 40 points on its own.
Sure.
Plus autonomous mode, right? So if you can get some power cells in, I think the record for auto, I may have seen 8, but at least 6 points.
Wow.
So that's 3 power cells. And it's you grab one at a time. It's very slow. I've played it before myself, and it is so much different. It's like if you go from being 2056 to being with a rookie team for the first time ever, and you see the different capabilities. Very different.
For those who enjoy golf instead of racing.
Exactly. So we will see. We should be good to get that underway shortly.
I will find out if the teams are readied up. Looks like we do have all 6 competitors out on the field.
All right, so if we do have all 6 competitors, we should be good to get underway in just a second.
Oh. There we go. All right, let's get this match underway.
All right, so getting this match underway in just a second, we see robots all on the move, kind of moving around a little haphazardly. Yan Yang going all the way to the other side of the field, collecting balls from the red trench. So definitely some different strategies there. Currently, red is up 8-6, but blue right now hoarding some of those power cells. That'll definitely allow them to have a lot faster cycling. You see Labib focusing on that, while Yan Yang making his way across the field, really putting a heavy emphasis on those ball hoarding strategies. Right now, red is still up 12-9. Labib putting in the work to put up those power cells. We also see Adam picking them up. Bacon trying to score. One does go in right there. 15-11 currently your high score. Looks like there is going to be a foul come in for the Blue Alliance. Richard respawning.
One of each.
A very big hit. 31-28. All of a sudden, the scores have gone up a lot. And Yan Yang also getting either reset or fouled out. I couldn't tell, but 46-29. This is a very high score for a pushbot match. As we see a big tangle of robots there on the red side of the field. Yan Yang trying to pick up Bacon and take him across the field. Now Alex, 1477, getting fouled out, but is able to make his way around. With a minute left in the match, this is definitely a lot more like golf, Tyler. You were saying these scores are low and the drivers
more like miniature golf at this point.
Yeah, they're trying their best here. Looks like Bacon might get caught out, but is able to back away. These fouls really making up a large part of the difference, right? Because 15 foul points is like scoring 15 power cells here. And so that's a lot more like, it's a lot more critical there if you score that foul. And it looks like Yan Yang struggling again, does get fouled out yet again for Blue Alliance. So Team Brennan here really having a tough time as they try to claw their way back, quite literally. Labib and Richard putting in some power cells of their own, but both of those actually falling flat. With 21 seconds left, we see people lined up for the climbs already. This is a big part of the scoring here, especially with the balance. We see Bacon and Adam are up. Alex looking to get up as well. Blue having issues doing the same. So as the arms go up on Pushbot 2 for Brennan, it looks like none of the Blue Alliance robots will get up, and instead they cross the rendezvous zone. Yan Yang making it up with a few seconds left, but that first one will go very decisively to Team Cone this match.
And Cone posting in chat that this is peak FRC sim. Couldn't agree more with the intense action we're seeing out of these pushbots. Tegan, I do have to ask you on there, we did see earlier in the match that a Blue Alliance robot was grappling a Red Alliance robot. Is that okay in the pushbot matches?
I honestly have no idea, Tyler. We have to check with our
ask our
header.
referee.
Yeah, why don't we ask her?
For the pushbot matches are, as of now, the same as the non-pushbot match.
So allegedly I saw it. I won't say I definitely saw it because I don't want to put anything into the referee's mouth.
So you do see, though, a lot of people having a lot of fun. These different robots definitely change the way the game is played, to say the least. Even the best pushbot drivers having some trouble with fouls. We see some practice between matches.
All right, I think we're ready to start our next match, or is somebody switching?
They don't switch rosters here.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody switches.
Nope, all 6 robots are on the field, so we are good to go. Still with Adam, Alex, Bacon versus Richard, Labib, and Yan Yang.
They're thinking some strats still. We're going to give them a 1-minute timer before we start the match, just so they can finish up any additional strategies that they need to do.
If you're going to count us down like the Falcon, perhaps?
I'm going to sound just like it, yeah. Ignition start. There we go.
So yeah, definitely going to be an uphill battle for the Blue Lions. They got to work on not getting those fouls, because that really kind of costs them the match. That costs you time and it costs you points. So that's what they're going to be looking to avoid here is they lose the first one 60 points. Remember the SRC lineup you see on your screen. I don't know if you actually got to see it on your screen.
That's preview, sorry.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking to see if we can find a replacement for RJ. We're on the hunt for the Team Brennan for another robot. But for now, we are able to continue with this lineup. This is going to be Pushbot 2, match number 2. Red Lions took the first one. Blue will need to reverse sweep if they want to take home the series win. So we see Yan Yang again going for that strategy, and Red responding. Bacon coming across the field, and it looks like there's going to be a tech foul already.
Oh my goodness.
Bacon getting teched out by Yan Yang before Autonomous is even over. Big hit there for the Red Lions. Yan Yang really putting in some elbow grease to get a good start for them. And it looks like he's got Bacon again. Hard to tell whose pin count is getting started. It looks like that was Richard and Bacon really fighting over those power cells near the blue human player zone. Looks like Yan Yang has caught Bacon yet again. Bacon, honestly, I came here to have a good time, and I'm feeling so attacked right now as Yan Yang moving slower than some of his competitors. As I mentioned, there are different settings and options, so Yan Yang might be taking advantage here because it looks like he has Adam, and it looks like Adam is going to get respawned out as well. So a big change in strategy here. Yan Yang getting that practice, really pulling it off.
Yang Yang just out for blood right now. The last match we saw Yang Yang get a couple technical fouls himself, and now making the adjustments and just racking them up for his alliance now and getting the benefit of that.
So we see definitely took a little bit of practice, but Blue now kind of figuring out how they want to play this. Richard and Yan Yang getting 100 points, most of them in fouls. We do see Labib trying to get the power cells in, so credit to him, but it is a scrappy match. Richard getting reset. Looks like he may have reset himself, though. That didn't count against the score. It looks like there is another tech foul. Labib getting teched out, but Red having a lead of let's say 500 points. 50 points right now with 47 seconds left. So last time Blue Alliance also struggled with the climb. Red not having the same issue. We'll see what Blue Alliance does to change that up, but this is really just a matter of who can outpush who.
Yeah, Labib is still scoring. That's the best part.
Together. Richard did get respawned, so Blue catching up after that early lead. Yan Yang now getting Adam respawned out, but that is not going to count as a tech foul. with 20 seconds left. Now we have concerns over climb defense already with 15 seconds left. We will see what the Blue Alliance is able to do. Red Alliance already up, so they're not going to make this mistake the Blue Alliance did last time. Blue Alliance struggling a little bit.
Adam's struggling
we'll
though
see who's
too.
able to get up. Adam falling off. The match complete here, 159 to 113. So unofficially, we will be going to a rubber match, but Red Lions complaining of some climb defense. You see 90 points there in fouls, very big. Not sure. It looks like even with a perfect end game, that would not have been match affecting. The climb D they're complaining about there. So we'll see what the ref has to call. But for now, unofficial score 159 for blue, 113 for red. And we do have confirmation of our replacement for Team Brennan. So free balance will be given to the Red Alliance. So 159 to 128 is your final score. So blue will still take this to a third, which is what we like to see. But Codster will be replacing RJ9 for Team Brennan in the rest of today's competition.
Looks like all of red backed out, so not sure if they're going to be changing up maybe some of their motor configurations or speeds or what they plan on doing.
Yeah, so that is definitely an option. They are allowed to do that between matches, but we will see what they changed it to. Codster or Coaster is currently the debate in the sim chat. But we are still going to have the same 6 competitors on the field. We see Adam and Alex are back. We'll see what their third alliance partner there. Blue Alliance doing the same thing, changing up some settings. So Labib, Yan Yang, and I believe on the field was also Richard versus Brennan, along with their 3 partners, Brennan, Logan, and Codster now. So, we're seeing a lot of changes in this meta. I don't know if we've ever seen 3v3 pushbot matches before, to be honest. Not that I can remember. So we're seeing the meta evolve rapidly in front of your eyes. Before, there was a lot of emphasis on scoring, and now people are really just out for blood. You saw Yan Yang getting 3 tech fouls on the Red Alliance very early on.
All right, we'll check in with our teams. We'll be starting in just a moment.
So we'll see, obviously, with Pushbot, kind of what's happening for Team Brennan. It's like when you go to an event, you make an awesome first pick, you're the first alliance captain, or you're the second alliance captain, then you need to sub out your first overall pick. So Brennan getting Codster instead of RJ9, still not a bad pickup. It's pretty much a steal as far as backups go, but with the All-Star event, obviously going by ranking means you're pretty much guaranteed to get a good pickup anyways. But we will see how that changes maybe some of the rosters that they were looking at putting up for later matches. Obviously, Codster still will have to play in the Captain Beatdown match, but that'll definitely change it up as we go along. So just getting these robots set up. Looks like we are almost ready. We do have all 6 back on the field after changing their settings. I don't know what Labib did, but it says Labib on top of his robot as well. Oh, it's not a hat. I thought it was a hat. I'm dumb. As the robots are underway, we do see we see Yan Yang and Bacon again. Yan Yang not able to catch Bacon this time, and instead starting a pin circle on himself. So won't get that tech foul that started a very early advantage for that Blue Alliance this time. As robots now make their way across the field, Yan Yang really focusing on getting those red robots trapped as much as possible. Blocking them from picking up those power cells.
It looks like the red substitutes are a little bit beefier than the last match on. You just saw Yang Yang just get timed out there. So now Red Alliance taking a little bit of a lead early in the match.
For sure. So we're seeing this change in setting as the meta rapidly evolving here. Yan Yang actually got fouled out a little bit earlier in the match, and we see Yanni and Richard really trying to catch Bacon and take him away, trying to pick him up while Labib is scoring fast and furiously, or as fast as you can with Pushbot 2 for that Team Brennan. Yanyang and Richard trying very hard to get those tech fouls this time that gave them the lead last time, but not having the same amount of success. Trying to, pick up the robot and throw them over like we saw earlier. We see Richard getting that arm up, getting that claw up, but not able to that time.
I'm a little surprised by Labib's bot. Seems a bit slow if he's going to be the primary offensive scorer. Like, I know he doesn't want to get pushed around should a Red Alliance robot go over, but if I'm going to be the primary scorer, I'm really going to go for speed, I think, and just try to outmaneuver the slower robots.
For sure. So, getting Labib now 47-31. So, Yanyang did score a tech foul there. That's the first of the match for the Blue Alliance. Bacon looks like he's pretty much screwed there, though. So, 48-47. And Labib really putting in that elbow grease, but having to fight Adam. Adam picking him up, getting respawned out while trying to do so. This does give Blue Alliance the advantage right now with 20 seconds left in the match. We are going to see people start looking at the climbing bar. Maybe, or they'll just keep trying to tech each other out. I can't really tell, to be honest, but we do see Richard actually getting respawned out. So 68-64, it's a very close one. And with 5 seconds left, Blue is not lined up. Only one climb coming.
Red falls.
Oh my goodness! As all the robots fall down, it's going to be 93-94. What a close match. All the robots falling down. Looks like that match will be under review, and rightfully so. Robots were up, and then they all fall down this time by. So, 93-94, your unofficial score, but as I said, this match under review.
Let's take a look at the replay here off the Twitch clip. By the way, we should just do that in the future. That would be way easier than what we tried doing before.
For sure. So, as we see the review, we see 2 red robots are up. 1 red robot falls down. Looks like a Blue Alliance robot falling off the bar and making contact with maybe a Red Alliance robot. Not too sure.
So did Yang get the balance on that? Because he went from 64 up to 94 in that. And he was the only one that was climbed.
Yeah, you see 47 points contributed to his score. So of that, he did score a tech foul. So that's 15. A climb would be 25, and a balance gets split amongst the robots. So Yanyang there probably getting 5 power points from that as well. Obviously, as I said, match score to be determined, but very much so under contention there.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can see that continue to replay on your screen with the score coming up 93-94. 16 power cells scored by both alliances, so very impressive. 6 auto points. So Blue Alliance did get 1 more in autonomous than their competitors on Team Cone. But the end game, this is about as close as you can get, really. Looks like it was that 1 power cell going in auto is currently making the difference. With the same number of power cells scored, the same number of endgame points, and the same number of penalty points for the time being. So remember, this is also the rubber match between Team Cone and Team Brennan for the Pushbot Best of 3 series. Looks like we do have someone in the question box as well, so it continues to be under contention.
I like right at the end there was a comment. I'm trying to see who it's from. We'll see it right at the end that just says rage quit.
I mean, honestly, if I was on Red, I think I would be in the same boat.
It was Alex 1477. Yeah.
For funny. Sure.
By the way, Poofy Jacket, thanks for the sub, by the way. Really do appreciate that.
For sure. Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon on a beautiful Saturday. I think it's Saturday, right?
See, I
Yeah.
close all my
Beautiful
blinds,
Saturday.
so I can't look outside to see how nice it is.
Well, here it is quite nice. Current ambient temperature about 20 degrees Celsius. So, a little bit of cloud
times
cover.
2 at 32. Okay.
It is 68 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So
That's about what it is
nice
here.
weather. Yeah, and I got the door open, the screen door shut, so no bugs. Just getting that nice fresh air while not having to get off my couch.
Scrublord says
Quite
rainy in
nice.
Seattle. When is it not rainy in Seattle?
I am honestly not surprised at all. I've been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy recently, which is held in Seattle. Lots of rain in that show, so it must be accurate. All right. Our head referee has returned. Not sure if he's got a ruling for us yet, or just kind of chilling with the stream crew. No official ruling just yet. So, while we're chilling in voice and in Twitch chat, I want to hear, what do you think the craziest game mode we could pull out this afternoon? We might have it on the roster for you. I don't think anyone would have expected push-bot matches, but we do have a lot of interesting matches coming up. If you have any suggestions for some ideas we could do, maybe some show matches later on, love to hear them. If there's anything you want to see, maybe some push-bot on the Vex server, who's to say?
And just a reminder, I think we're doing a Vex competition tomorrow, right?
This is true. We are doing another Vex Championship event, second Vex competition. I can pull up the details on that for y'all right now.
Yeah. And then also on Wednesday, we have a second Tech Challenge event as well.
Yeah, for sure. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific, we have a double elimination bracket tournament for Vex. Event will be streamed here on First Updates Now. Participants, you can enter with a teammate, or you can just sign up and be randomly paired with another user if you can't find a teammate. Either one, totally okay. The bracket gives you another chance to stay alive if you miss your first match. So, again, that's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. On First Updates Now, second Vex Challenge will be coming to you live. We'll see probably a lot of the same competitors we have on screen right now do that, but could be you. No entry requirements to sign up. Obviously, this is the All-Star Tournament, but otherwise, we are open to everyone. Would love to have y'all.
No payment necessary to win.
This is true. This is not a pay-to-win. This is not a pay-to-win challenge here.
I mean, if you do sub, we'll give you 5 times chance to win. How's that?
There we go.
5x luck to win.
If you sub, maybe we'll the ref will look the other way. No.
Yeah, no, that's not what we said. We said luck.
The luck of the draw is you have a 1 in 5 chance to get a different referee for the match who has never refed Vex before. If you can get a random referee.
What is for the ref in Vex? Is it just pinning?
Mostly
so.
trapping, yeah. There's only disqualifications, no penalties. It would be pinning or crossing the autonomous line during the autonomous period.
How does
a lot less work.
I would say, how does the Vex game play out so far? For those who have played it, how do you like it so far?
The score changes incredibly fast. It's incredibly fast paced. I don't know how it's going to be for robot design, but obviously people have talked about that a lot already. But it's very entertaining to watch.
I think for robots that are that size, by the way, like equivalent robots to FTC, like I know a lot of people like Skystone a lot, but how can you not look at this game and be like, man, I wish we would have had this for FTC? Like, and I understand robots are slower in real person, right? Like in real life. But to me, the chess game that just gets played in this, I think is so cool, and I can't wait to see it played in actual competitions as well.
For sure. I mean, I haven't been to a Vex competition ever. My FRC team doesn't have a Vex or an FTC team attached to it, so I don't get to see the little robots in action. So the only time I will see them is at Worlds when they're already super overpowered. You only have the top competitors, but I am excited to see the video clips. I think this might be the first year that I actually do watch Vex matches, just because it's crazy to see the scoring and D-scoring. And I think having the simulator kind of let teams test out the meta is going to be really exciting. As well as I think we'll see what happens to second robotics when you can use different robots. So obviously Gluten Dad been putting in a lot of hours to make sure that we keep adding new things to the game, and new robots coming soon. TM will definitely be one of those big game changers that we see coming up.
Let's see if we can get some sort of update from our referee in regards to if we're still determining what's going on or if we've made a decision yet.
So it looks like the final decision just coming in now. The ping is still there. The DMs are hot. No change to the score. So this will go to the Blue Alliance, 93-94. So a very close match. Again, remember, it was literally identical, excluding one power cell being scored in Autonomous versus Teleop. We were this close to a tie. So that means, with that being said, the 3v3 pushbot will go to Team Brennan. After a bit of a rough start, they were able to pull off the reverse sweep in our best of 3 pushbot lineup. Just finding out now what our next challenge is going to be, as obviously the pushbot was not scheduled to be first. Our next challenge is going to be the standard 3v3 match. So this is just your normal infinite recharge game, best of 5 here. You're gonna see 3 robots versus 3 robots. Each team will pick their 3. The 3 they pick will not be competing in the 2v2 or the 1v1. So just like the people in the pushbot challenge aren't the same in the beatdown, we're gonna see the 3v3s different than the 2v2 and the 1v1 groups.
And our first robot up looks like it's going to be Richard. 2930 is the first robot to make an appearance on the field.
Yeah, so we are able to definitely pull those rosters for you. Looks like on the Red Alliance, Team Cone gonna come in hot.
Looks like the Brennan's Alliance does look like they have their 3 robots listed on the sheet already. So was Brennan required to pick first before Cone?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know he did answer first.
There you go.
So it looks like Team Brennan going to be Logan, Labib, and Richard. So I would not be surprised if Red Alliance does get to pick after seeing the lineup. Cobby, would you be able to explain that to us, or is it just random?
What was the question?
So does Team Brennan have to pick their roster before Team Cone, or do they both have blind picking?
They both have blind picking.
Okay, so Cone just taking a little bit of his time there, getting that answer, or getting his team picked up. Looks like Team Cone gonna be Bacon, Anthony, and Adam. So Bacon, Anthony, Adam versus Logan, Labib, and Richard. Obviously, Logan and Labib already, and Richard actually, having warmed up today with some matches already in the pushbot. This time, remember, you don't have to score them one at a time, Labib. So it's going to be a little bit different for them there. As well, we're going to see, of course, Bacon, Anthony, and Adam firing on all cylinders for Team Cone. So chat, if you have any predictions for who's going to take this match. Obviously, the Labib fan club going to be in full force here, cheering on the Team Brennan Blue Alliance. But would love to hear from chat. Will it be Cone? Yeah, we have a question in chat. Will it be Cone versus Brennan in the 1v1? That is to be determined. We don't know who the lineups are for the 2v2 and the 1v1s yet. However, it's still a possibility. We don't see Cone or Brennan playing in this match, so both of those having waited their turn. Also, remember, the 3v3 is a best of 5. So, again, just like in Pushbot, how we saw things change dramatically from match 1 to match 2, again to match 3, it'll be the same thing for the 3v3s, the 2v2s, and the 1v1s.
Looks like we're just waiting on one more bot to join. There was somebody again, and then they backed out. So on blue, we have Rich and Labib. So it looks like we're waiting for Logan still before we start this match.
For sure, Logan must be struggling with some computer issues. Had the same thing in the pushbot matches. So, Brennan failing to consider the computer variable.
Yes.
Perhaps there was some bias in the picking. They are literally sharing genetic DNA as brothers. So, you know, it's always good to have someone that you know will have your back on your alliance.
Now, is Brennan the older brother?
Correct.
Well,
Brennan
he must have gotten the better computer then, because I'm guessing Logan must have gotten the hand down.
Exactly. There we go.
And poll results, by the way, it looks like Brennan Alliance currently winning with 7 votes over Cohen's Alliance for 4.
So it looks like we have a little bit, in theory, Team Brennan would be an upset over Red, just because they had the later picking slots. It sounds like we do have all robots ready to go. Maybe just waiting now on one response before we come in. That is Labib locking it in. So we are going to get this match underway in just a few seconds for you right now on second robotics competition all-star event, Robots on the Move. This is going to be one of the best matches we have seen yet this year. We do see the field virtually cleared off by that Blue Alliance. Red waiting a little bit later, but does do the same thing. And a huge autonomous mode there coming in from the Blue Alliance. Wow. 126 points to 108. Very big score, and they're already on the move. We see Labib coming in fast and furiously, putting up a big volley of power cells there already for that Blue Alliance, whereas Richard really heavily defending Red, kind of slowing down their progress, while Logan and Labib cycling as fast as they can. Bacon now in the zone, playing some defense. Looks like Labib will play some counter. Richard grabbing those robots, grabbing Anthony, but Anthony is able to break free. Bacon now kind of playing around, harassing Logan, while Logan really trying to counter D so Labib can shoot cleanly, and Labib does do so. 205 to 142, so big advantage right now to the Blue Alliance. We do see it looks like Bacon might get teched out here. He is able to get away. That pencil core was very close to being full, but he does escape just in time. 162 to 208 with 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, you saw Bacon
now
come in there, and Bacon actually tried to push into and then got pushed against, and both of them almost teched out. And Adam right there having to reset.
Yeah, so something looks like Adam fell on top of Richard. Richard trying to get Adam reset. We'll see if that impacts the final score at all. But Richard not really dismayed by it. We'll go right back to grabbing these robots, playing some heavy defense. Blue does still have the advantage here, and they are starting to run away with it as the Logan is now putting up a cycle, dealing with the counter defense, and now will trade off. So Logan counter D for Labib. Well, Richard making his way across the field. Looks like he may have grabbed Bacon's robot. Not quite. We know that that is a signature Richard move. But with 25 seconds left in the match, it is still anybody's game. 277 to 244. So the Climbs will be making a big difference here. Richard still playing some heavy defense. Bacon now looking to play some more defense on the offending Blue robots. With 11 seconds left, we have yet to see anyone line up for the Climbs. And as I say that, it looks like Anthony is going to be the first to do so. Adam finishing his cycle before he comes in. And with 3 seconds left, we will see robots start the climb. 349 to 421. So Team Brennan looks like they've got this one relatively, relatively in the bag. Obviously, match score not yet official, but 349 to 421, and really that autonomous just kind of set the tone for that match. 126, one of the largest autonomous scores personally that I have seen in the months we've been playing this game. Tyler, what's your thoughts on that match?
You know, I have to admit, I saw really where I saw some of the big errors come in, unfortunately, was from Adam in this match, where a lot of his shots were going into the high port and not the inner port. So you just saw right there as it went through his last shots there, a few of them missing. Also, one other thing I want to point out from Adam here, if you watch us, this replay will start back over in just a moment. Actually, we'll just do it ourselves. As Adam comes over to get this final grab, watch this on the left-hand side here. A lot drop, and he only ends up with, 3 power cells inside of his robot for that last volley? 4 power cells, maybe? And I know they were down by quite a bit, but you got to get more on something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And Adam did come in. He had a little bit of time lined up, so could maybe taken a little bit more time to pick up some of those power cells before moving on. We'll see what Blue Alliance does if they change around positioning or anything, but they really had this match under control. It's the Red Alliance who needs to change something up to respond, because otherwise it looks like it's going to be the same thing we saw before, with Blue Alliance taking it, starting right out of Autonomous, and just running away with that lead. So score is still unofficial, 349 to 421. Sorry, had to take a little cough there. So 421, that 90-point end game, a very big difference too between these two alliances. Blue taking their time to get their position lined up. Red kind of rushing in last minute. The final score will be slightly modified. 421 to 364. Blue Alliance still the victor. Just one of those fouls getting removed, getting a foul being added to the Blue Alliance there. So, looks like that is going to be the match. Team Brennan going up 1-0. Again, had the win in the Pushbot series, has the advantage. This is a best of 5, so still has to take home 2 more. Red Alliance having lots of time to catch up. We will see what they're able to do this time by. Say this time by like they're doing a race and it's like each lap they come around the field. I miss racing season, but Richard almost ready. We're just getting them all readied up. It is cold in Seattle. Thank you. It's good to know. It do be raining. It's not raining in Kingston on the other side of the continent. Don't worry. So, Tyler, would you be good taking away this match with the commentary?
I can definitely do that. We'll start this match in just a moment.
Fantastic.
All right, next match coming up here. Once again, we're playing in our best of 5 as we come on through. So this is going to be a great match coming up. Can't wait to see. Blue Alliance is up 1-0. And let's get this match going. And out of the gate they go. Early collision there on the lower part of the field. Here comes Anthony looking to be first to strike as they come on through. Anthony takes a little bit of time to line up, though. And here comes the Blue Alliance looking to pour in as well. Red Alliance struggling a bit there. Couple missed shots coming in. But lower Autonomous for sure by both alliances. We go through 94 to 93. Bacon actually ejecting a couple power cells out of the field. In general, here comes Logan 4476 with his next shots up, and in he goes. Labib looking to line up over on the right-hand side. Anthony 3175 gets a couple off before being defended against by Richard 2930. So counter D going on there as Adam takes his next offensive move. You see that middle collision there between Bacon and Richard, two main defensive bots, and that's looking almost to just go against each other on that. There's a big hit there by Richard, knocking Anthony 3175 off kilter a little bit. Really love that behind hit. Looked really great on there. As this match is definitely a bit closer. Blue Alliance a little bit of a lead as it goes through, but still could be going either way. Anthony 3175 having a little bit of troubles picking up some of those power cells there. Not really what you want to see out of that. Here comes Adam, though, for Red, able to freely shoot. Do love that. As he goes through, he's going to play some counter defense against Richard, maybe even pin him in, but Richard spins out. Bacon, meanwhile, looking to do some harassment over on the left side. Follows back over, bumps into Richard as well, too. So interesting to see as now Red Alliance is up 229 to 207. This is, once again, our all-star event. Some of the best teams in SRC are competing here, so not only are you going to see some of the best offense, but also some of the best defense come out of this as well. Coming up in our final 30 seconds, looking to see what these bots can do. .282, 252. Red Alliance now 30 points in the lead, and here comes the Red Alliance. Anthony 31.75 looking to line up, but gets bumped by Richard. This is going to be close. Climbs will matter for this. Red Alliance trying to get a few last shots in. Wow, great job by Richard. Really playing some tough D there. Anthony not able to get almost any of his power cells up and in, but not quite enough for what it needs to be, as Richard not getting the climb, and Red Alliance will take this one 387-336, tying up the series 1-1.
I think I was trying to count how many times I saw the score within 1 point, and it was at least 3. Like, we really saw a lot of back and forth there. And the big auto miss from Blue Alliance, you know, not getting that 126 auto, obviously hurting their mojo a little bit. They weren't able to kind of run away with it the same way they did that last match.
Come out of this as well.
This score will be final, so it is going to be the Red Alliance taking home this next one. So in the best of 5, we are all tied up. Each team will need 2 more to win. Roboteer saying, I'm not sure whether I'm Team Cone or Team Brennan. Luckily, right now it's tied, so you don't have to be either team.
What about the third team?
Actually, the correct answer is Team Cobby.
Yes.
Team Cobby, aka your casting crew. That is the only correct answer for you today. Nick trying to persuade him over, saying join Team Cone. But definitely seeing Team Brennan right now having that lead with the first match, and then just not able to secure it in the same manner the second time around. So we'll see what they do in response. Definitely was a violent match. Both sides really pulling out that heavy defense. We'll see if we'll see kind of who takes the advantage there, but it was definitely a close one the entire time. Blue just not really getting the climbs at the end they need to. Richard missing that climb at this high level. You can't be doing that. That really hurt the Blue Alliance there.
We are ready to start this next match coming up, so let's take a look.
Yeah, so remember, this is going to be Bacon, Adam, Anthony versus Richard, Logan, Labib. We'll see who's able to take the advantage this time as the clock starts in 3, 2, 1. We are back underway. We'll see what happens in this autonomous mode. There's some contact between Richard and Bacon, but Logan clearing off the rendezvous zone. Both alliances really focusing on a heavy emphasis of clearing the field. Blue getting off to a little bit of a slower start, and this time it is Red putting up crazy autonomous as well, but 134 to 122. Some ridiculously high scores, and the match has barely even started. These are higher than our pushbot scores already, and it's been 15 seconds. We do see Logan and Labib both able to get a cycle in here before Bacon, the defender, comes back. Looks like he is coming back for Labib, but a little bit late as Labib had already finished that volley. So currently the lead is in the Red Alliance's hand, 177 to 174. Red did take the last match and will be looking to run with that momentum. Bacon coming across the field will hit Logan. Logan not having anyone to help counter defend, but Labib is here now. So Bacon instead might actually get teched out here, and he does. So that's a big hit on the Red Alliance's score there. They are still in the lead, 227 to 224. But only 3 points is not enough to rely on, as they are now actually behind by 3 points. That's one accurately shot power cell. And as I say that, Blue Alliance will have to respond to that cycle that just came up from Red. Adam and Anthony really working together. Richard having to do most of the defending for the Blue. Looks like Bacon might be getting teched out here. His circle does set, so that's another big win for the Blue Alliance, as Bacon has to get back to his position, back across the field, and Richard's not going to let him do that so easily. And now, Logan will counter defend for Labib. Unfortunately, it looks like Logan's the one with all the power cells in his intake, though. So, Bacon now really getting pushed off. Blue Alliance has taken the advantage with 30 seconds left in the match. So remember, endgame rules now applying as we've hit under 30 seconds. Logan making his way across the field. Looks like he is counter-defended for now. Or is not counter-defended, rather. He's left undefended. But Labib will put up another volley of his own. And with 15 seconds left, Red trying to respond with Adam and Anthony coming across with full volleys. Bacon and Logan locked together. Looks like Logan gets respawned out with 4 seconds left. Logan will have to run across the field if he wants to make it in for the climbs. I don't know if he'll be able to.
Oh my
but
goodness.
With no seconds on the clock, this is another 1-point match. We are so lucky to have a few of these on the field today. 437 to 438. A very close match. We are getting some chat in the... we're getting some chatter in the text chat. We will see if that score is final or under review in just a moment.
We'll put up the replay here in just a second, too. This is a crazy ending to this match.
Yeah, Logan, you know, getting... So he gets fouled out with 5 seconds left. You have 2 seconds where you can't move. So he took those 2 seconds to put up his climber. Very smart decision. And with 1 second left, sliding in. I don't even think he got the climb points, but I think that's the craziest effort to get the climb points that I've seen. And you can see that it's confirmed he doesn't get the climb points, unofficially that is, because it's 185, and he only gets 190 at the end of the match credited to his name. But Richard missing that climb, I think, you know, kind of making up for that fact. A message from the head ref saying that score is final, so it will be 2-1. Series point for the Blue Alliance. Team Brennan taking the lead here, 2-1. We see 437 to 438, your unofficial score. It literally cannot get closer than that. One extra power cell shot by the Red Alliance. A little bit extra, or a few extra points in teleop, with more power cells scored. But the extra foul that the Blue Alliance was able to secure due to Richard's defense really coming in clutch there. So we'll get the robots ready, but Blue needs to take this one, or Blue has 2 chances, rather, to take the series. Red needs this to stay alive. Tyler, what are your thoughts for what Red Alliance needs to do?
I think I just got kicked out of the scores document somehow. But with that said, looking at this on here, to me, a lot of it comes down to the defensive play there. And I think, you know, Richard does have a slight edge over Bacon right now as it comes through. So I'm really looking for Bacon. There's a few times where Bacon looks to go back, and I think he gets surprised by Richard, who's in position, that bumps him off a little bit. So you see the 2 defenders hitting each other, but I think Richard is winning most of those battles as they come through. So for me, looking at Bacon, I think there's a big thing. Second thing is autonomous. Right now, we've seen some inconsistencies, more from Red than we have from Blue, and looking to see if we can bump up some more accuracy and a little bit quicker shots out of that, and especially in the second match that we saw there. Anthony 3175 and Adam were a little delayed in shooting their power cells. So I'm not sure if they put too many inside the robot and they got jammed or what happened, but we got to see a quicker release out of those bots.
For sure. So something I do want to note, you're mentioning Richard having the edge on Bacon. So Richard got picked 1 slot above. So Brennan's Alliance, you know, emphasizing that defense. I think he really wanted, you know, specifically if you can get a defender, went early on that. So Cohen kind of having to deal with the second option there of Bacon. Our picking order went, you know, Cohen then Brennan. But Cohen instead picking Alex 1477 in the 3rd round when Brennan went for Richard. So we'll see kind of if the decision to pick a defense early works this time, or if Red has a bigger strategy. But as I say that, we are underway. Remember, Red needs this to stay alive, and it looks like Logan and Adam are stuck, or Bacon were stuck together, but Bacon got teched out. So very big hit already coming in to the Red Alliance's score. This is very violent, and we are barely in the match. 107 to 89, so lower scores all around this time. Obviously, pinning someone out takes time, so Logan wasn't focused on scoring necessarily, and Bacon is already back looking to play some D. But Bacon, a little bit shaken up by that start, will actually get teched out already.
Wow.
So, kind of losing that advantage that they had early on. Richard now having a fight with Bacon, stay alive. So all 3 Red Robots are on the same side of the field. That means Blue is left to score undefended. Logan and Labib putting up a big cycle. Red will now try to go in and get as much as they can, kind of in response. Looks like the intakes were connected for Bacon and Richard, but Richard getting away just in time. Bacon now back playing defense on Logan. Logan now cycling off for Labib as they make their way back across the field, 186 to 199. So Blue Lions still with the advantage here after that early tech foul. I'm not totally sure what's happening between Richard and Bacon. I think they're trying to grab each other's intakes. I don't think it's doing anything for anybody, but they are wasting each other's time. So, not totally sure what the strategy is there. We do see Richard trying to grab Anthony again, putting up against the wall of the truss. 249 to 230, with 55 seconds left in the match. So that's about a cycle between these two alliances, or a tech foul. We see Bacon here dealing some defense on top of Logan, but that's okay because it allows Labib to just score undefended. A lot of this cycling off, and we see Red do the same thing there with Anthony and Adam. So Red kind of mirroring Blue's movements with 30 seconds left in the match. Endgame zones now effective. We'll see what the Blue Alliance is able to do if they're able to hang on to this 5-point margin. Logan will put up some cycles as Adam responds on Red. Now Labib doing the same for Blue as Anthony responds on Red. This is incredibly back and forth here, and with 10 seconds left, we are still only 3 points between these two teams. Labib will put up a few last-second cycles to try and make the difference. They have the advantage, but there's only 1 second left. And that looks like that seals the deal. 380 to 410, Blue Alliance with the unofficial victory here. You see the fireworks, and I think they'll be celebrating because if this win is confirmed, when this win is confirmed, aka right now, the score is final, that means that Team Brennan has taken the advantage already. 2 series wins to none for Team Cone. They win the 3v3. So, big match coming in there. Labib, Logan, and Richard really putting in the work there and getting taking that series 3-1 in the best of 5.
I want you guys to take a look at the beginning of this match as we went through. And unfortunately, there's a big miscue by Adam in this match, which I think really hindered the Red Alliance in the beginning. You're going to see Adam come up and watch as this match starts. He's going to come through and hit 1, 2. It only gets 1 power cell in that first collision there, and then he knocks a few out of the way, and it's just not able to get back in time on order to score. You don't even see Adam shoot his first power cell until right when autonomous ends, and that really put the Red Alliance at a big deficit for that. So, you know, kudos to Richard, 29-30, just getting right in position and not giving ground on that as well, too, as once again holding Adam to only 1 power cell in their trench run, and then Adam having some difficulties picking up a few more as he went through autonomous.
All right, so I know Nick in chat was saying, hey, can this 1-point match thing stop? I don't think you wanted it to go the other way, though. So that did end in 4 matches, our best of 5 series. We will be now moving on to our next event. So this is the 6v0. In the 6v0, essentially, all members of the team on field at 1 point. We'll put up some cycles as Adam responds on Red. Now Labib doing the same for Blue as Anthony responds on Red. This is incredibly back and forth. Trying to figure out which alliance is going to go first. 3 points between these two teams. Labib will put up
Taylor, I'm more questioning why you're not allowing cheering for the Blue Alliance in Twitch chat.
I didn't mean to. I grabbed my mouse and I clicked the button. I was going to send a message and I clicked on the delete message button.
Ways you know taken is truly not biased.
I am truly unbiased. I will depress everyone.
Yes.
I will oppress everyone equally. And with 10 seconds left, we are still only 3 points between.
So I'm really interested in seeing the 6v0, the way that strategies play out, because you know you're going to see some ball shuttling happen during this, right? And you know, what is a robot? You know, like Richard, for example, who is almost always plays defense. How does he most contribute to an alliance like this? Maybe that means he is the one who is shuttling power cells. But you think of how choreographed this has to be. Every single second cannot go unspared with something like this because it's going to be so congested trying to score into the inner port for either respective alliance.
For sure. And I mean, you're also going to see, like, there's power cells only going to be going into one goal, right? That means that there's going to be that one intake that's full the entire time, and you're going to have someone constantly releasing all the power cells who is on the opposite alliance, right?
Yep.
So if blue decides that they want to score in the blue power zone, that means someone who lands up on red, their responsibility will be to get those power cells out of the red human loading zone. The only corner of the field that's going to be kind of left alone is going to be that red goal, as both the, and then I guess later in the match you will see that human loading zone for blue will be emptied out because there's not going to be any goals going in there. Autonomous is a big one. We see in 3v3s scores of 136, but now when the entire field is up for grabs, if you bump each other, you're all screwed. But if not, you know, you can put up some massive scores within the first 15 seconds of the match. And I think that'll also separate, you know, the two alliances, whoever can take the advantage.
I think the autonomous for teams are going to change a little bit too, especially those who are on the opposite alliance, so to speak, as they come through, because you're not necessarily going to be able to make all the same runs necessarily, or somebody who might be going for, you know, usually playing left might not be going to the opponent's trench in this case, right? We might see them going to the rendezvous point or somewhere else in order to pick up those additional power cells. I have to admit, Tegan, this is where I'd really wish that we had a turret robot ready to go, because you could just almost park one robot in the same spot the whole time and just feed that robot as the turret reverses and shoots into the goal.
For sure, but we did see in the Captain Beatdown something similar to that between in the first match, the unofficial match, where Brennan was the only one who could score in autonomous, but RJ was really feeding him quite directly. So it looks like we will have Team Brennan going first. Team Brennan, obviously the second alliance to pick, will be the first one to go up, so Team Cone knows what they have to beat. I'm just going to get all the members of the Blue Alliance onto the field in the two different alliances.
And figuring out who's going to play what, right? So in this case, since it's Brennan's alliance, is blue the one that's going to be scoring, or is red going to be scoring?
So it sounds like in this match is going to be the Team Brennan's going to be scoring on the blue goal.
Okay.
But again, the points going in doesn't matter who they come from. Just matters that they go in.
But it matters a lot for autonomous, though, and who's positioned where for auto. I think is going to make a big difference.
Correct. They are going to be trying to clear off the entire field. So we're just getting people logged on now. Looks like Yan Yang's the first one to just lonely drive around the field. So to confirm, Scrublord in chat, is the 6v0 just one round? The 6v0 is a best of 3. So they will have 3 I don't know if it's going to be 3 attempts, or apparently not. Things may have changed. I lied. Kabi, please don't lie to our fans. Tell us what's happening.
Well, you see, the way that I referee things is I do it the way I want to, see?
Yeah, so I just got the message in. When I said it's a best of 3, I got a message that said just no. So it sounds like it's not how it's going to be. Looks like it might just be a best of 1. We do see we've got at least 5 robots from what I can see on my screen logged in. Potentially, we have all 6. We see that they've chosen to put Yan Yang, Labib, and Richard on the blue, or Codster, rather, on the blue lines. Remember, Codster subbing in for RJ9, coming in last minute for that blue line. So Labib, Logan, and Brennan going on red. Wait, Kabi says it is a best of 3. You've been debated again. It is going to be a best of 3 matchup. We'll see on this. It sounds like they may just go 3 in a row. That one, I'm not sure. All right, so we will be swapping everyone each time, so it's going to be whatever the score is here versus whatever the score the Red Alliance can put up. So blue not knowing what they're actually up against, giving the advantage there to the Red Alliance.
This is very reminiscent of 2001, by the way.
I was 3 years old, Tyler. Do you
Yeah.
think I remember anything from
Well,
2001?
let me describe to you the amazingness that is the worst game in FRC history. Many people might attribute that to a couple other years like 2015, but I assure you it is most definitely 2001, where it was a 4v0 game, and that is how the entire time it was played was 4v0. I think they're ready to start.
Our head rep's gonna be glad he wasn't even born yet for that. Sounds like that was a little bit of a meme there. But speaking of memes, we're ready to get this 6v0 underway. Never have seen this before. We'll see how it goes. So, everyone clearly knows what their plan is. We see shots coming in from everyone. Being careful not to bump each other. The auto coming in. It's gonna be 140. Okay. Labib, you see him spinning there. His goal is quite literally to just make sure the balls keep going.
This is amazing.
They're all on the same side of the field. I love it. It's perfect. Just firing away as fast as possible.
The victory spins are gone, the Labib spins are back.
So I think the only thing, the only time we see someone leave is Kotster right now. His job seems to be picking up the power cells that fall from the sky. The biggest part is Labib doing the spins can prevent there being power cells lining up from the sky, because you see all the cycles coming in. I'm sorry, this is just too funny.
This is amazing.
This is great. We see all the power cells coming in, and the goal is to keep them on the same side of the field. If you let the human player station load up, you will have to travel, and you don't want to have to travel. We see Brennan make his way. I think he's going to pick up that one lonely ball under the control panel before going to pick up a cycle of his own. 500 points we have crossed with a minute left in the match. So I would not be surprised to see matches over 700 points, to be honest with you guys, because now it's been, 5 seconds since I said we hit 500, and it's now 600?
We're going to see 8 and 900 for sure. Can we see 1,000?
Ridiculous.
Is it possible, Tegan? Can we get 1,000?
I am down for a 1,000 point match, but I don't know how they can go much faster than this. Maybe an assembly line. We're now at 700. I think this is actually a record for 6v0. I know we've done a few matches officially in that 6v0 strat, but I don't know what the record is. Power cells coming in. If they're not careful, it's going to fill up the human player station or the rendezvous zone, and they do. So it looks like that's going to be Richard traveling across the field, maybe looking to pick those up with 15 seconds left. We are 5 points for the Red Alliance coming in at the end, but that's all in the parking. Looks like the 3 Blue Alliance robots are lined up, but the 3 red ones continuing to score. 976, 980.
Oh my goodness.
Do we make it? We don't quite make it. But that is definitely a new world record. 980 points. Blue Alliance taking that match there pretty convincingly. 0 to 980 points.
Let us know, by the way,
is
Twitch chat,
fantastic.
if we're going to break 1,000. We want to know. Currently, vote in the poll and let us know if in the 6v0s if we're going to see 1,000 broken. I think it can happen.
Speaking of people who want to beat 1,000, it's going to be Team Cone. So we just saw Team Brennan's first match. That score being official, that's locked in. Now that means all Team Cone is going to head onto the field, and they're going to be able to look at what Brennan did, look at and co, look at what can be improved, and go from there. So, I mean, I am here for this. I think this is going to be absolutely hilarious.
This is great.
But currently, yeah, Team Cone will have to beat 980 if they want to take the first win in this best of 3.
So, Tegan, I just want to watch this autonomous here a little bit as we go through, and you see the different routes that everybody's taking. And honestly, don't really see much on misfires or anything like that. A few, somebody there right in the beginning, let's see if we can go back to that. About 220, you saw a few hit off and not go in at all. I saw them bounce off. So who was shooting that? It looks like possibly Richard 2930 was the one that... Yep, Richard 2930 unfortunately did not have his hood at the right level, so they did... Looks like he missed...
a few shots, yeah.
About 4 shots there, which could have put them
Yang
over
did
the
go to
1,000.
pick them up.
Yeah.
Yang Yang did go to pick them up, but I don't think he got those in before Autonomous was over. So we'll see. We do have one person saying, no, we're not going to break 1,000. Whoever you are, you're just a hater. And I'll delete your comment next.
Wow. Taking the vicious.
Bring down the ban hammer. So remember, our lineup for Team Cone gonna be Alex, Adam, Anthony, Bacon, Cone, and Nick 862. So it's gonna be those 6 working together as fast as they can to score more than 980. So just waiting now on Team Cone to actually log on to the server, as it is currently empty and lonely.
Or I put a bunch of Z's in their private chat channel there.
Perfect. And so this match will be Cone, and then the next match is also, we're going to do 2 back-to-back matches for Cone, but that'll kick off our next match 2 in the round of 3. So Cone getting back-to-back matches, obviously having first choice of whether he wanted to go first or second, and if there is a tiebreaker in the 3rd match, then they will also get to decide if they are first or second. I think. Or I'm just making it up and now it's officially the law. I'm not totally sure, to be honest.
Perfect. Well, that's the way it is now, right? So
now it is. You're right. I got a DM from the ref saying close enough, so I guess that's gonna be it. Still just waiting. Right now it's a 1v0 with Adam on the field.
So Cone's team was under the impression that they were playing both their matches before they did. So now you're going to see them start to join.
So it looks like we have 3 now. 4, 5. Will we get a 6th?
6 bots.
And with that, Bacon logged onto the field. That makes 6. So once they are all readied up, we can get this 6v0 underway.
So what's your prediction? How many points are we going to get from the Cone Alliance here, Tegan?
I mean, definitely going to be north of 900. I think they're both very capable teams, and I think it'll come down to precision and accuracy. You know, if you can get more 3-pointers than the other alliance, that may help make the difference, especially when you're firing off so many so quickly. Some are bound to bounce off into that 2-point goal instead. And especially if you want to break 1,000, which I think this team definitely has the potential to do, you can't be missing those 3-pointers.
Yeah, I wonder, since they got to watch Brennan's Alliance play, what adjustments they made or what ways they saw that they might say, hey, we might do that differently than what we originally thought, or something of that respect as well.
For sure, and I think they did choose to go second in this match, so I think Cone, knowing that they had the advantage, definitely took the opportunity and went with it. We are going to see, are they able to keep all the balls on the side of the field? Or are they going to get sloppy and have them fall in the rendezvous zone, which takes longer to pick up? Yet to be determined. Looks like we did have one disconnect on the blue line, so we'll be good to go in just a second.
So Cone disconnected with one of the other players on the alliance. Looks like I think they were swapping positions for what they were going to be doing.
For sure.
All right, we're going to start.
All right, Tyler, take us away. All right, so with the match underway, you see all the power cells going in. This time, none bouncing off, so red having, well, I guess red/blue/Team Cone having the advantage early on. Score not up on the screen, but
Yeah, we're having some issues on that end.
that's okay, because for now, all you need to know is that they are scoring as fast as they can, and they are making an effort to kind of keep the power cells falling from the floor. Cone kind of scavenging the ones that he can. Not sure if that's the best strategy, putting your theoretically best player on, moving around duty. Anthony making sure that field is completely cleared, scouting it out.
There we go.
We are currently at 378, so they're about on pace, if not a little bit ahead, I think, of the Team Brennan Alliance. But a bit of a stall here. Some power cells definitely missing that target. So in theory, if you want to hit 1,000, 910 cells in the power points, whatever that, you know what I mean, 910 points from shooting the power cells, plus 90 points in the end game is kind of what you need there. So they're about on task to do that. You need 450 with, maybe about halfway through, and they are definitely on track. 615 right now. There are a lot of balls on the ground, which is something we didn't see as much with Team Brennan. But we'll see if Team Cone is able to bring this back. So for next time, we'll see if they're able to get a better run. At 30 seconds left, Team Cone has scored 775 points. So 980, they still need to score 200 points in the last 30 seconds here. And they're looking a little lost. Bacon and Alex fighting over the same power cells, trying to clean off the field. But with 18 seconds left, we already see the Red Alliance robots going for the climbs. Your three scorers, Nick, Cone, and Alex, still on the field. With 10 seconds left, I honestly don't know if this means that they're ahead or behind the other alliance. We'll see what happens when they get up. I think this means that they may have taken it.
Wow.
And there we go. That is a 1,000-point match, ladies and gentlemen. 1,011 for Team Cone. So they do take this first match, 1,011 to 980. Very close considering how high those scores were. Really pulling it out at the last minute there. We'll see, they didn't even get the balance. So that's 15 more points left on the table, scoring 343 power cells. And the big difference maker there is the auto. 172 points out of autonomous is definitely higher than what we saw Team Brennan do. So we will see, obviously Alex, Cone, and Nick not contributing actually 0 points, just 0 points to the Blue Alliance.
There's so many points, it's even going off the match results screen.
Going off the screen, yeah.
So Cone is going to play a second match in a row here, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see once again the adjustments that they make and if they can top their 10-11 score.
For sure. And then it's going to be Team Brennan that has to respond. And if, if they're able to top 10, I guess whatever Cone puts up next, we're starting fresh. Cone up 1-0 in this best of 3 series.
Something I thought was really interesting with the strategy on this is that both Nick and Cone, who are probably the best scorers for Cone's alliance, played for the Blue Alliance and not Red Alliance, scoring on a red goal. So they must have known that they were a little bit more trustworthy on crossing the field all the way over and getting those power cells and getting in position right away. Perhaps that's why they were maybe a little bit quicker to set themselves up versus some of their other alliance partners.
For sure, and I think part of it also comes down to knowing when to climb, right? Because that means Adam, Bacon, and Anthony have to, focus on getting the climb, getting the balance. If they don't do that, then obviously that's a lot of lost points, but it means that Nick and Cone are able to score longer. So if they can put up more power cells, the more power cells, the better. Obviously, there's no fouls. We've set fouls. We've set fouls off for this, so they're not going to get points from, fouling out their partners or anything to add to the score. But what we will see is this match getting underway in just a second.
We will. Looks like they're ready up. Let's do this.
All right, so they scored 10-11 last time. Will they be able to top that? Let's find out. They scored 172 in autonomous last time, so keep an eye on that. See if they're able to do something similar here. We do see one ball bounce out there, and there's a few falling on the floor. Looks like they may have just topped that, and they definitely did with that last volley that came in 196. So already Team Cone on a mission here, as they're going to work on scoring as much as possible. With 2 minutes left in the match, we've hit 230. That's Galehawks from New England, putting up those scores there. As we continue to fire away, looks like they're going to cross that 300 threshold already, about 10 seconds after hitting 230. So, you know, about 70 points per 10 seconds. They are certainly on their way to another high-scoring match.
So I forget, do you remember what they were at with 60 seconds left? I think they were somewhere in the 600s.
Something like that. And then with 30, they were about 770 with 30 seconds left. So I think they're still on track to definitely be close to their score, if not top it. They do hit 500 here with a minute left to go. Good. Yeah, this is definitely, if I was Team Brennan, I'd be taking notes here, really focusing on getting as much as possible, getting value out of those power cells too. If you can make sure that they're gonna, you know, land right in front of you, land in that human player station. Looks like they are gonna be 644 this time as they cross that 1 minute threshold. And so they're gonna put up some power cells a little bit slow there. There are power cells that they're leaving on the field. You don't really see chasing after every scrap, and there we go. We hit that 700 threshold. 44 seconds left in the match.
Right when you said it looked like Adam went and picked a few up himself.
Yeah, it looks like it is now cleaned up. Bacon now doing the same. We'll see if they wait till later to climb. They did line up a little bit early. We are now at 822. Definitely looks like we're on track for another 1,000-point score. For sure. You know, I thought 980 was impressive, but Team Cone really showing up here. Putting up some power cells. With 15 seconds left, that's when it looks like they're going to climb red lines. But I don't know. Like, last time they didn't get the balance, and they climbed so early. I don't know if they'd maybe be better to have someone firing. There we go. That's already 1,000. They're not even up yet. Looks like we'll hit 1,100 maybe. And we do. 1,106 points.
Unbelievable.
1,106 points coming, and that's Bacon, Alex, Cone, Adam, Anthony, and that's 6 people. And Nick, sorry, that's 6 people. They did get the balance this time, and that took them over. 1,106 is what the Blue Alliance has to beat this time if they want to take home the win here, because they're already down 1. They need to do that to stay alive. Never mind actually go ahead and face Team Cone in another match. Team Cone definitely with the offensive power there. For sure. Team Cone and Nick, 2 people already that I would be worried about. Let alone 6 people of a similar caliber. It's insane.
Let's take a look at the replay here from the beginning of the match and their autonomous modes. You see this really nice choreographed sequence as they go through here. It's all the power cells in the rendezvous point are swept up. Only one really left behind there on the bottom right. You do see, unfortunately, here, if you watch Bacon, he does, after he shoots, he does bump Nick 862 for just a moment. It throws him off for a few power cells, and also bumps into Alex 1477. But it looks like they're able to recover really well, and Bacon also able to recover quite well for his team as well too.
For sure. I mean, this is just incredible. Getting 6 people to work together in such a tight space. Remember, there's not a lot of places that you can actually score from on the field with this robot. There's only so many shooter hood angles. So you have to line up, and they do. They lined up 3 in a row to get them firing. It's just insane the amount of precision you need to do things like that consistently.
All right, looks like Brennan is ready for the next match.
Hold on a second. They're a man down.
Wait a second. Obviously, it's going to be hard to top 1,106 points if you only have 5 people. We're just waiting for Logan to get back onto the server here. Just go with 5. You can beat 1106, Tyler says.
No fear. Come on.
All right. All right, they should be good to go now in just a second. So we see the 3 that... remember, they're starting on blue, or they're scoring on blue. So they've chosen their hangers to be Richard, Coster, and Yanning. Logan, Labib, and Brennan will be the last 3 to score.
Looks like we're going to be ready to start.
I think last time we hit 230 at about 2 minutes left. We'll see if they're on pace for cone or if they're going to, change up the tempo a little bit. 360 power cells is the number to beat here. And we are on our way. Logan missing 2 power cells in that line of 9 as he makes his way across. So definitely a different autonomous strategy, and I don't think it really worked there. They do put up a pretty good score of 190 out of autonomous, so that actually may still keep them in the running, but missing power cells early on, not what you want to be doing. We see that they do hit that 230 mark there. Now they're at 242.
Look at this positioning by Brennan here, by the way. As Brennan is shooting cross angle and purposely going for 2-pointers instead of 3s, but a quicker shot he gets out of it as well.
For sure. So we also see Brennan putting up those points. I know they have the aiming circle, but those are definitely going into that 2-point goal. So really just focusing on quantity over quality. And with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, 360 power cells were scored by Cone. They're already at 156, or 158 rather, and they're still over less than halfway into the match, I think. They have hit that 500 threshold with 1 minute and 30 left to go. So they are on pace for that record, but they are losing points, especially with Brennan going for those 2-pointers. Whether that's strategic or not, that one ball will miss, and Yang quick to pick it up. 1 minute and 13 seconds. They really got to keep up the tempo here. Logan a little bit kind of lost as he has to work his way around Richard and Codster. Codster now kind of cleaning off the field. There are 3 or 4 power cells just kind of sitting out by the red goal and the rendezvous zone. They are going to hit that 700 right there. 709 with 50 seconds left in the match. They are on pace to keep this one competitive, but I don't know if they're quite up to the 1100 mark. We'll see. With 45 seconds left in the match, a little bit slower. There's a lot of power cells just on the field. A little bit slower scoring coming in from Richard and Coster, who are definitely stuck near that goal, not able to move, because then you'll move all your competitors. 2 power cells left to hit the floor. 870 points there. They're about to cross 900 with 24 seconds left in the match, scoring fast and furiously. They're definitely waiting till a little bit later to do the climbs. We see Codster and Richard now with 15 seconds left, making the move for it. Yanning is going to finish that cycle before he does so, so he's going to be the one in the center. Labib really trying to feed out those power cells. They are at 1040. The climbs haven't happened yet. Will they make 1106? Wow. They do. 1143. So this match going to the Blue Alliance, well, the Blue Alliance and the Red Alliance, the Team Brennan, taking this match. Incredible scores they are coming in. They were on pace for it and really pulling it out at the end. That's 421 power cells scored compared to 360. So we saw, you mentioned Brennan going for those 2-pointers, and it really showed they were getting a lot quicker cycles than their competitors did. Despite having, not as many 3-pointers necessarily, they just put up so many that they were able to take the win there. 1143. What a score indeed. So we will be going to a third match. It's going to be the Team Cone versus Team Brennan, a rubber match. Very exciting. We've seen some incredibly high scores. Each score has been higher than the last. We
should 12? Just keep playing till that happens, by the way. We just let each alliance trying to outpace the next one, and the one that is not able to, that's the one that loses.
I mean, that might be what we see here next, Tyler. If we'll see who wants to go first. I'm not totally sure who has the right of way. If you win or tie match 2, you'll play another match. So, looks like you are going to see Team Brennan going yet again. So this time it'll be, will Team Brennan top that score of 1143, and will Team Cone, most importantly, top whatever Team Brennan puts up?
Something I saw in the last match, by the way, is you really saw Team Brennan do a great job of not allowing power cells to overflow and go to the rendezvous point. There's always somebody there pretty much every time, to where the amount of power cells dropping the rendezvous point barely counted any throughout the entire match.
For sure. And I mean, it clearly paid off for them. They were able to get so many quick cycles. They are ready to go. So hopefully for them, they're going to put up another big score. This is so many world records we're seeing being shot over and over and over. We'll see if we're able to get another one topping it. Robots on the move. Logan this time not missing those power cells. So already one step ahead of before. We'll see a few power cells do miss. That looks like there's 4 on the ground with 18 seconds left. Some do get put up. Looks like that last cycle doesn't get put up. So that hurts them. They had about 190 out of auto last time, and this time they were closer to 140. So they're down 50 points already on what they put up, and they look a little bit scattered. Only 221 as we cross 2 minutes, which doesn't sound, like an only situation, but they are kind of falling apart here. Red Alliance not able to... Oh, there they are. They released the power cells, but it's a slower start for Team Brennan. Definitely going to have to see what they're able to do if they're able to come back from an early deficit. Obviously, Team Cone not having put up those scores just yet, but it looks like they will be, struggling to do so. It looks like Brennan's taking ownership of making sure those power cells are falling, not falling on the ground. Brennan was missing those shots. They were a little bit low, which means someone else will have to pick them up again and rescore them. We do see 2 power cells falling on the ground, so it looks like a little bit of a misstep there. Team Brennan a little bit slower this time around. They're kind of losing some of that momentum. It's definitely difficult, but those power cells falling on the rendezvous point definitely not helping them with those fast cycles that really led them to victory last time. Brennan now lined up, good to go. We'll see they release those power cells so they're not falling on the ground this time. 579 at 50 seconds left. This is definitely not as well as they were doing last time, but they are going to start coming back from it. With 45 seconds left, 635. So going to have to do something big in the next few seconds if they want to kind of take home the win here. We see Labib with a very full intake, Brennan with the same, and Logan will slide in to do something similar. With 29 seconds left, they are close to crossing that 800 threshold there. 781, that's the Connect Knights from King Card in Ontario. 783, not sure who that is, but moving along there. Just crossing 800 with 18 seconds left in the match, so definitely a slower match, a little bit more collision. We are seeing Yan Yang with another full cycle, while the other 2 blue robots lining up for the climbs. With 7 seconds left, Yan Yang might make the difference. They're putting up that big score, but it looks like it's not going to be enough this time. They know they haven't done it, and they don't even cross 1,000 this time. 979, not nearly as high of a score. That's actually their lowest score yet. 979, so they're going to have to hope for Cone choke this time if they want to take this win, and may even be, if Cone chokes here, that may be the event. Team Brennan having won the Captain Clash, the 3v3 already, or at least they'll give them
Captain Beatdown is replayed, I believe.
Oh right, we still haven't done Captain Beatdown. Just kidding. We've done the 3v3s, and we've done the Pushbot 2. Those ones have both gone to Team Brennan, but Team Cone in good shape here. Just gonna hop onto the field. None of their scores have been lower than 979, so we'll see. We'll see if they're able to put together another solid match and take home the win in this game mode.
Mm-hmm.
So people know, even, depending on whoever takes home the series wins, we are still gonna do all the game modes, so don't worry. There'll still be lots of action for you today, to say the least. The field has been reset, and it looks like they are on the move, maybe. Never mind, not quite. They're just trolling. Looks like we're about ready to get this set up. They are ready to go now. So we will see drivers behind your lines. It's going to be Team Cone. They have to beat 979 to take home the win in the 6v0 game mode. and they are definitely off to a solid start. Very composed. All those power cells going in. No misses out of autonomous. Putting up a score of 182. That's already 40 points ahead of what Team Brennan had done this point in the match. So they are in good shape. Hopefully they're looking to keep that up throughout the match. We'll see if they can hit 268 as we cross that 2-minute mark. So they may be on track for yet another world record. 11:43, currently the record for 6v0s. But we'll see if they're able to do so. There's a little bit of a slowdown, traffic jam near that human player station. Nick 862 going to release those power cells, does so there's none in the rendezvous zone. They must have noticed that Team Brennan did a good job of that in their 11:43 run and is following suit. So they hit 503 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go. So definitely on pace for a very good match. They need a big choke here to not hit 979 at the very least. With 1 minute and 10 left in the match, they have hit 624 Stoy Pulse.
They are definitely on pace to break the record right now.
For sure. They are doing incredibly well here. With just about 50 seconds left, they're going to cross 700 points. They're definitely on pace for a very impressive match here. And I think they're definitely, if I was Team Brennan, I'd be crossing my fingers for a miracle right now, because with 45 seconds left, they are already in the 800s. Anthony 3175 putting up a volley alongside Kona and Alex. That goes in no problem. One power cell does bounce off, but quickly picked up. Crossing the field, 902 now. So if, anybody climbs, it's over for Team Brennan here, and it looks like it's going to be the case because they're going to cross 979 already, and no one's even climbed yet. With 15 seconds left in the match, we see some more scoring. It looks like Anthony doing some victory spins early. They've already crossed 1,000 with 8 seconds left. Will they cross 11:34 for the world record? Who's to say? It looks like they may not this time. So they don't get the world record, but they do get the win here. Bacon throwing in chat for that world record, they say. That's a bit of a meme here. But 11:29, they do take the win, and that means that in the series victory here, we are going to see this go to Team Cone. 2-1. So, Tyler, what did you think of the 6v0 game mode?
So I have to admit, going in, I was a little suspicious of it, just from my past experiences of both the 2010 game where you could essentially break the rules by playing that, and in 2001. But I have to admit, I loved it. I thought it was very exciting. It was super cool just to see how high you could go, and it gives me hope in regards to, look at how like Vex does your games where they do skills challenges and that sort of thing. Man, I'd love to see that happen here in Infinite Recharge as well.
For sure. So, Yan Yang, if you would not mind leaving the server. Looks like we are going to move on now. Oh, just kick them. That's fine. It looks like we are going to go to the 2v2s next. So, remember earlier we had the 3v3s that were incredibly close the first few matches? Now we're going to have some 2v2s. So these are going to be different people than you saw already on the field. Teams are going to be submitting their rosters for that.
So let's break down what we have here in the 3v3s. It looks like we only played 4 matches of 3v3s. Is that correct?
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah, so I'm looking in regards to the who's in the lead right now overall, because it's based off of each of the segments essentially, right?
For sure. So, we've done the 3v3s, so there's 6 people on the team. The 3 that were in the 3v3s are not in the 2v2s or the 1v1s. So we're seeing here Cone and Alex versus Codster and Yan Yang, which also means we've locked in our rosters for the 1v1s.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is on the 3v3s, how did we play 4 matches?
The first one was replayed, I think.
No, I thought that was a captain beatdown was.
So that
It was the best
that was
of 3 series, or best of 5 series, not a best of 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm trolling. So I was like, how do you know what's in the... my brain is offline. So, we do see here 2v2, also best of 5. We've got Alex and Cone versus Yang Yang and Codster, which means our 1v1 will be Nick versus Brennan. Should also be very exciting. So we'll see different strategies come out in 2v2s. It's not the same as 3v3s, but it's also very different than the 1v1s. So, we'll get this match underway. So looking early on, trying to clean off the field. We do see Cone going for those Blue Alliance power cells, and Codster will respond and do the same, putting those up for the Blue Alliance. Looks like the field is pretty much cleared off already, so big advantage here to the Blue Alliance. They will take the early lead 121 to 103. YY and Codster. Remember, YY was the last overall pick of the draft, and Codster is a backup robot. Cone the captain, and Alex is third pick. So Blue Alliance is not favored here, but they are certainly holding their own, 142 to 162 with the lead. Blue Alliance here. Yang Yang stealing some of those power cells from the red loading zone. Definitely going to help make a difference here as you try to starve your opponent of power cells. Cone now plays a little bit of tap defense on Codster. Doesn't make much of a difference. Yang Yang going to put those away quite quickly. Make quick work of that volley. Codster releasing the power cells out of the human player zone and making sure Yang Yang is there to pick them right back up, meaning that the Red Alliance isn't able to take advantage. We do see a lot of power cells kind of on the ground near that red human loading zone, but Cone being on his way is going to make it very dangerous for the Blue Alliance robots, so they don't go to contest them just yet. 247 to 244, 3 points separating these two alliances, despite more power cells being scored by Blue. Very close match. So again, that could be a combination of precision and autonomous. Cone traversing the field in this what is currently a tie. Codster has something to say about that. He puts them away quite quickly. A big cycle coming in, and there's a lot of power cells near that human loading zone. Yang Yang will Codster will take those right up. Yang Yang coming to take the leftovers as well, try to make sure they don't go to the Red Alliance, who is currently still behind 333 to 347. Codster putting up that cycle. Cone tried to go for the tap, which meant Codster had to realign himself. Blue Alliance really avoiding much of that defense strategy. Does go for some there, but it's after Cone has already done that cycle. Yang Yang here to also pick up the power cells out of that human loading zone. Cone is able to snatch a few, which may make the difference, because with 12 seconds left, it is a lead now to the Red Alliance. Yang Yang will put away another volley. He has a bit of a jam, but is able to get that mostly sorted. With 3 seconds left there, at the disadvantage, we'll see who climbs, and it is a 2-point win for Team Brennan. Another incredibly close match. That's what happens when you get some of the best players of this game. That's an upset. I don't think, Cone and Alex were definitely the favorites going into that, but the balance at the end making the difference. Blue Alliance 2v2 taking that one in the best of 5 series. They're up 1-0. The score is final, so we're going to move quickly to our second match in this series.
Yeah, really interesting to see no defense for the most part. I think really the defense came into power cell starvation. And Tegan, you called it during the match where we saw Blue Alliance go over and pick off some of the Red Alliance loading zone power cells, and I think that's really where the defense plays in something like this. But definitely an interesting upset to see nonetheless.
And a big thing, too, that we did see Blue Alliance doing with Yang Yang and Codster is if Codster went to pop the human player zone, Yang Yang was right behind him to make sure there weren't any for Red to take. So that was another big thing there that the Blue Alliance was able to do consistently that helped starve that Red Alliance. And I think it really, part of the thing, it's part of the gameplay that definitely gave them the advantage. So we'll see how the Red Alliance is going to adapt to this. Are we going to see more defense this time around, or is it going to be the same status quo? We do see early on a little bit more contention for those power cells, lower scores all around in autonomous, but we will see Red Alliance taking the advantage here, 130 to 86. So this is a really big deficit that Blue is going to have to make up, and going to have to do it quite quickly if they want to be in contention. Honestly, you know, tech fouls are kind of what they need to be going for here, because those scores, you know, that gap is not going to be easily overcome, especially if you're getting starved out. And we do see the strategy already, playing heavy defense. Once you have the lead, it's easy to play defense and block your opponents. But, you know, Red still not done with that offensive scoring. Cone going in for a big cycle there. Alex now playing some of that heavier defense on Yanyang. Yanyang having to counter defend to allow Codster to go through. They are going to leave some of those power cells. Not able to get all of them. Those are 4 on the guardrail for the Red Alliance, but Blue will not contest those just yet. But they are still very behind Blue Alliance. That is 50 points back, 40 points back now. So that was a good cycle there. They put up the same number of power cells, but the autonomous really hurting them there. 266 to 224. You know, I'm surprised we're not seeing more defense come from Red. Red's still putting a very heavy emphasis on offensive scoring when they really could just be trying to hold the score. But that's something you do see a little bit more in 1v1s. 316 to 226, or 266 now. Yanni and Codster putting up a big cycle. Alex and Cone responding, just trying to maintain this lead slowly but surely, and they're actually up in power cell count now too. So Blue Alliance still up in power cell count, but not up in points, which is what they need to be doing if they want to come back from a disadvantage like that. And Cone will be defending Yanyang, but is able to get out. No problems there. 381 to 346 now. We do still see more power cells being shot by that Blue Alliance. Yanyang, a big steal there, able to get most of the power cells out of that red loading zone, and that may make some of the difference here. But at the same time, we are very late in the match. It is very late to be pulling off a superhero move like that. We'll see if they're able to, but they are not this time. 466 to 424, and honestly, I can't say much. Can't say much besides the fact that it was, you know, after auto, pretty bad. We do have the match under review, so we'll see how that, you know, pans out. But 466 to 424, your current predicted score. Neither alliance getting the balance at this time. So, we did see Blue a valiant effort to make that comeback, but 130 auto points to 86 is really difficult to come back. You saw they were only really able to come back by that, you know, 2 points in teleop, which is what you need to be doing more of if you're going to be down out of auto. And they just weren't able to do that. We didn't see a ton of defense come in either. The final score has been adjusted, but will not be match affecting. It's going to be 466 to 454. So that'll help out in the tiebreakers, but the final score coming in might have had some, you know, some climb defense or something similar. Not totally sure what happened there, but we will see. Currently, though, we are now tied up in the best of 5 series for the 1v1s. So in that last match, the 30 points assigned, there was some climb, there's climb defense, which normally results in both a tech foul and the free balance.
Does look like our teams are ready. We're going to start this next match.
So remember, it is all tied up now. Robots on the move. We're going to see Blue putting that heavy emphasis on auto. No contact this time. So we'll see if that helps them out as well. But currently the advantage still to Red, as Blue looks like Codster might have had a bit of a jam. They're going to be down, but not by much this time. Only 15 points, 116 to 101. So that is quite literally a balance or a tech foul We'll see if we see more defense this time around. Codster putting up some power cells left undefended. We'll put those away, make quick work of that. Cone 4946 traveling the field, looking to play some defense on YY before he goes back across to pick up those power cells. Codster picks up as many as he can, but Yan Yang will come and take the rest. There are 3 left behind by the Red Alliance. Only 2 left behind by Blue, and Codster not going to go challenge those. Instead, we'll go for the defense hit. That does make some shots miss. So a good hit there coming in from Codster. They've caught up on power cell count. They're 4 ahead, but they're still down by 10 points. So the Blue Alliance really working there. That's Team Brennan's members, Yan Yang and Codster, working to beat Cone and Alex. Definitely the favorites here, Red Alliance. After a slower start, 254, the Cheesy Poofs to 234, Cyber Blue. As we put up more power cells, Yan Yang contesting the ones in the corner, but we'll have to go back empty-handed. Instead, going to focus on some defense. We're seeing Blue now with the advantage, 282 to 262. They've been able to come back from it after a very good cycle from the Blue Alliance. Cone will respond by putting up a cycle of his own to take the lead back. But we are seeing more defense coming in late in the game here. 301 to 302. Doesn't get much closer than that, but Alex is going to do another cycle. Going to get hit by Yan Yang, and that shot does miss. That one going into that 2-point goal as well. So big hits here coming up from that Blue Alliance. They've learned about the importance of defense here, and Yan Yang will respond to Cone by putting up a cycle of his own. Now Blue Alliance is down 364 to 344, so Red really pulling it out in the last few seconds of the match. Codster putting away some power cells of his own. 1 does miss, but the rest go in just fine. There is some contact there between Yan Yang and Cone, but Cone able to get most of those power cells, or Yan Yang able to get most of those power cells in. Blue is at the disadvantage, though, with 2 seconds left. Looks like it'll be a little late for Codster to come in and climb, and it is. Only Yan Yang getting up there for the climb there, so that's Cone and Alex taking this one. So, match point for Team Cone as they take the lead in this series. Tyler, what'd you see?
Yeah, you know, looking back and forth, Red Alliance here just really looking pretty much flawless. Obviously, with the end game, it doesn't look like actually either of the climbs counted for the Blue Alliance. So, you know, really in this just consistency, I love to see the bump and runs in the 2v2s. And in many cases, I don't think Blue necessarily did anything bad in many circumstances. Just weren't able to keep up with the pace that Red Alliance was able to do.
For sure, and we see that score is getting locked in as official. So 465 to 396 will stand. And look at those individual point contributions. Alex, 1477, the MVP of the match, 246. Cone, 218. Both Blue Alliance robots scoring 200 and 196. So neither robot able to contest what happened. This is a best of 5. That's correct, Tyler. So Team Co needs 1 more to take home the series. Team Brennan, they took the first one in a very close match, and they haven't had the same luck. They're going to need to take 2 in a row if they want to win the series.
All right, we're going to get this match started.
Tyler, your Discord stream's off.
All right, we'll fix that in just a moment. But meanwhile, the match has begun, and we have right now pretty neck and neck between these two as the Red Alliance, much lower autonomous scores as they go through, as we end pretty close back and forth, really, though, in about the 70s for both of these as they come on into the teleop mode. So coming into here, once again, back and forth they go. Codster looking to make their next volley as they go up into the inner port. Cone, a little bit of bump there, but Codster still holding strong as he comes on through. Yang Yang looking to make their next cycle and run. Codster looking to see if they might bump a little bit here, but no, instead just goes right back across the other side of the field instead. Alex 1477 scoring what they can as well too. Codster once again up and in they go, and right now this is a much closer match. Once again, Blue Alliance needs a win to stay alive. Red Alliance wins, they will take match point in this as well. Young Yang draining a few in as well. Alex and Cohen both looking to do the same. Very little defense played in this match, and really almost all offense. But here comes a big hit by Young Yang, able to bump Alex off the game.
That, of course. As soon as you say that, of course we see the defense coming in. But definitely a much closer match, and I can see all the scores coming in. Can see how this one's going to be another close one. Going to come down to precision, definitely.
Absolutely, and right now looking 282 to 279 in favor of the Red Alliance. It is very close, though. So once again, absolutely incredible scores that are happening in this match, as both these teams are going back and forth with 40 seconds left, and can't wait to see Tegan. This is really going to come down to the end game.
Yeah, for sure. And we did see that hit on Codster from Cone. One power cell missing the goal there, but one power cell here makes the difference. Yang Yang obviously will go to pick it up quite quickly, make quick work of that. But we're not seeing a lot of contention, over the power cells that are left behind. We're not seeing Red taking the time to go get them because they know they kind of have that lead there. Codster instead going to play some defense on Cone because he knows that's kind of what he has to do, and that is some big defense coming in. The power cells missing there with 3 seconds left. It looks like, though, yet again, Blue Alliance not able to get it at the end. 409 to 439. Now your unofficial score. I mean, they kept it close, but they were not favored to win. They did take the first one, but it looks like, I don't know, it's hard to beat Cone and Alex as a pair. But it was a lot closer this time. I will give big props to them for that.
Yeah, so we'll wait for the official score, but if that's said, then it will be Red Alliance taking this one, and that would tie it all up in the overall standings.
For sure, and that score is final. So now it is 2 game modes to 2 game modes going in. So we are all tied up for the winner here of the All-Star event. And we're going to be moving right along to something. I'm not totally sure what's next, but that is the end of the 2v2 series. We are going to be going to the Captain Beatdown next. So, another fun exclusive to the All-Star event game mode. For those who are tuning in a little bit later, you missed our discussion of it earlier. Only the captains, Brennan and Cone, are allowed to score. So, it's basically a lot of defense, a lot of counter defense. We'll see how that kind of works out for both alliances. It's going to be Brennan and then Brennan and Cone, obviously, on both alliances, and then the 2 robots who didn't play in Pushbot accompanying them. So that means it's going to be Codster and
Logan.
Logan, yes. Codster and Logan accompanying Team Brennan, and Nick and Anthony helping out Cone. So, Nick getting onto the field. We do see all 3 red robots on right now, facing off against Brennan, Codster, and Logan.
Logan, yep. As long as Logan's computer doesn't overheat.
Yeah, Logan did have some issues in the first match that caused it to be score removed / replayed, plus some other issues we started without him, which you can't really do here. But you look at the overall standings, you can see a lot of these matches have been incredibly close. For example, there was a lot of 1-point matches earlier. Brennan getting the win 437 to 438 in the 3v3s. We had Cone taking the win 466 to 454 earlier in the series. Crazy things like that. Pushbot went down to 1 point at the end. It's just been an insane number of close matches, and it's something we love to see here. The closer it is, the more on the edge of your seat you are. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, hype emotes in chat. I see those. I appreciate those.
Yeah, chat, let us know. Who do you think is going to take this next in the Captain Beatdown? Is it going to be the Brennan Blue Alliance or the Cone Red Alliance? Taking any predictions on your end?
I mean, I think here, something we haven't seen a lot of is Nick 862 playing defense. He's very well known for exceptional scoring, and we've seen it as he sets the world record. Anthony saying Team Cone wins. Anthony, you're on the field, so obviously you're going to think that Team Cone's going to win there. But I think the advantage here does go just purely on account of the amount of defense. Defense power between Codster and Logan. I think that is going to lean a little bit more towards the Blue Alliance, but I could definitely see this going to Red as well. Anthony having a lot of defense under his belt and dealing with a lot of defense too. There's going to be a lot of counter defense as teams try to protect their captain from scoring, and we will see feeding strategies as well, especially in Autonomous. Remember, if you score and you're not a captain, not only is that score removed, but it will also be added to the other alliance twofold. So obviously, if you score one power cell by mistake, 2 points will become 4 points for your opponent instead, which is not what, not necessarily what they want. We see Cone Cardinals versus Brennan Blue Jays. You could also say it's 44-76 versus 49-46. These teams of, Cone and Brennan both having played together and against each other in real life plenty of times on the first field, now doing it on the second field. We'll get this match underway. So, early on, we do see advantage going to Team Brennan. Definitely, just blocking off one another. Codster focusing on protecting Brennan. Logan doing the same. Brennan really just kind of picking up as many parcels as possible, as is Cone. And Cone, his partners are kind of making sure he has a big zone to use. You can almost see the field right now split into two triangles diagonally across the field. You can see Codster picking up power cells that starves them out of the Red Alliance, and he will feed those to Brennan. We saw Anthony doing that in our one match that was replayed, so would not be surprised to see a lot more of that come out from the Red Alliance. But currently Blue does have the advantage here, 130 to 146, as Brennan puts up a few more power cells of his own. Codster releasing that hopper for Brennan. Logan really focusing on playing that defense, not even let Anthony get near where Brennan would be. So a lot of counter D coming in there. Codster really deep in enemy territory, able to slide his way out, but those power cells now have been released on the ground. Blue's gonna have to pick those up if they don't want Red to take it, because Red has taken the lead here. Some of those missed opportunities coming in. It looks like Anthony, 31-75, did get a hit on Brennan, did get out just in time. That's a lot of power cells on the field, and Logan really playing some heavy defense on Anthony and Cone. Anthony feeding Cone those balls across the field. Blue not doing the same, but still doing all right as they've got the lead now, 234. Again, that's Cyber Blue versus 222 from Mar. I can't remember their name. Tigertrons, that's it. As they hit the field. 244, that's one of the Robo Dogs. 253, Boba Bots. Lots of team names on the board here. With 15 seconds left, we are getting quite close, but Blue has the advantage for the time being. Gonna look to play some climb defense on the captains, but the captains lining up nice and early. A tech foul coming in from Codster late may make the difference, but Brennan able to get that balance, I believe, that sends it to Blue Alliance in the best of, this is a best of 3 series. They will go up by 1. The tech foul coming in at the end, not able to make the difference. The balance, Brennan really counteracting that tech foul with the balance the Cone wasn't able to secure. The score is confirmed.
So 2 things to think about as we go through in here. First off, let's take a look at the autonomous mode replay here. And I think really a big difference was, Brennan had those balls fed into them versus Cone here. You notice Cone runs out and then goes and gets more right away instead of having them fed into him. And I think that slowed the Red Alliance down a bit. You saw Red Alliance make a good comeback during the teleop mode, but I really think that hindered them. If Red maybe switches up their strategy a little bit, you definitely see Cone making a comeback as they come through. And if you think about it, if you're in Blue, you really got to be winning these, right? Because when you get to the 1v1s, it'll be interesting to see who's actually going to be playing for the 1v1 then for Red and Blue Alliance. That will be interesting.
So we're going to see Nick playing in the 1v1, Nick 862 for Team Cone, Brennan for Team Blue. So Brennan really looking to secure this captain beatdown because there are no guarantees that he's going to win the next match. And we do see the feeding strategy yet again in the practice match, but now they're actually underway. Brennan goes for that line of 9. We do see Codster and Logan picking up as many power cells. Wait, never mind.
That was
the
still the
last
Twitch
match,
replay.
wasn't it? You debated me. I was like, oh yeah, they're on the move. They're doing the same thing again. I've been debated.
You threw me off where I'm like, how are you seeing this?
I'm just seeing what you give me, Tyler.
But it does look like they're ready, so we are going to start in just a moment.
To be honest, for that last match, I realized I was watching the Twitch stream, so I'm like commentating on things that had already happened for the start of the match. I'm like, oh, jeez.
You have mine up
All
now,
right.
though, right?
Yeah, we're on for real this time. Brennan goes to pick up the power cells. We'll see if they go for the feeding strat. Red Alliance, having learned from before, they do the same. So we'll see if Blue's able to do it a little bit better, having a little more experience with it. But Red Alliance already changing up their strat. We see Codster playing defense on Nick and Cone. Nick focusing on feeding this time. Stole some of those power cells from the blue human loading zone. That's pretty big for that Red Alliance. But Blue does have the advantage here, 120 to 88. Logan pinning Anthony for a good amount of time. Gonna make it hard for him to feed, but has to back out to avoid getting pinned. He does hit Anthony, but those power cells mostly making their way across the field. Logan now having to counter defend for his captain and brother, Brennan. 154 to 139 currently your score. But Blue is definitely feeling the pressure. Red is keeping it a lot closer than they did before. Power cells all over the field here for the Red Alliance. We do see Logan and Cone going at it for a little bit. So, and with that, Nick 862 is, I believe, trapped under Codster. Codster gets away without the tech foul, but that also wastes some of the counter D's time. And Logan goes in for the hit on Cone. Saw an opportunity and seized it. But Cone, something that some might not know, is he uses a different field of view. He may actually use that human player station when lining up to score, so he can see people chasing after him and brace for a hit before it even happens. So Cone using that expertise, kind of hanging on, getting back to it. Looks like Logan does slide out of that potential pin. Cone, though, very full intake, will cross the field. Anthony respawning Logan, so that's a big hit to the Red Alliance. That'll help out Red a lot, but Logan is not worried about it as he goes and goes right back for Anthony. With 23 seconds left, Blue still does have the lead here. Brennan, what is it? We see Logan gonna get free. He goes actually under the trench, very close to getting respawned, but coming in clutch as we see people trying to defend the climbs. With 8 seconds left, we see Anthony trying to defend that climb on Brennan. Both teams making it in. Codster again getting respawned at the end of the match. We'll see what makes the difference. It's a tie? It's a tie! Wow. All that for a tie. What do you know? That's hilarious.
Yeah, that respawn at the end. Wow.
Yeah.
Cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looked like Blue had it, but the tie at the end, I don't know if it's, I'll get the confirmation from our head referee in just a moment, but very, that foul came in clutch for that Red Alliance as they're able to survive. So this one is a final score. 317 to 317. Yeah, watch the replay here. Coming up on your screen now. Blue had the advantage with 6 seconds left. Pretty heavy-handedly, but Codster getting spawned up by Nick 862. Very close to the end. That kind of sealed the deal. 317 to 317.
The amount of a tie is similar to how FRC is, where essentially it just didn't happen, right?
Yep, so in the best of 5 that now just became the best of 6. Pretty much. So we will record that score, obviously, but it stays currently... I don't even remember who won that last match. It's been a wild ride.
The first match was the Blue Alliance.
Yeah, so yes, Captain's Beatdown first match did go to the Blue Alliance, and it's still 1-0 in the BO5. So essentially, it's first to 3 wins.
Yes.
Is really how it is. However many ties we have, we're not gonna do the foul stuff. Just kidding. This is best of 3, so this is first to 2 wins. So that means that Blue Alliance, they lost the first one.
The Blue won the first one.
The second one. They lost the second one, and now they're gonna have to do it again. And they are actually on the back foot this time. Oh, never mind, I lied. He had more power cells to shoot. I didn't see those. 88-74. So this is best of 3, and it's first to 2. So Red with another chance to stay alive, just kind of prolonging it. We do see Anthony continuing to feed across the field. That's something you don't see Blue doing. Instead, Codster focused on screwing around with Nick 862 and trying to get in. We see Cone firing off those shots.
Hopefully there's not a tie, because we'll need a clarification then if it's best of 3 or first to 2, because that would make a difference.
For sure. So we will get that confirmed. Technically, it is best of 3, I think, but...
well, if there's a tie then technically Blue Alliance would win.
Yeah, if there's another tie... If there's another tie, it's been confirmed to me it is first to 2 in DMs from our head ref. So we would continue to play. We do see the hits coming in from Logan on Anthony. I'm not sure how much those are actually doing, but I did see one power cell fly off into the rendezvous zone as he misaligned him, so that may be helping the Blue Alliance. Brennan now making his way across the field. Logan having to counter defend on Anthony. So we see Codster and Nick 862 playing some heavy defense as well. Brennan just crossing the field, doing some cycles. Logan doing some pins. All systems go. Blue Alliance does have the advantage here pretty solidly for now. But Red has something to say about that. Cone has something to say about that. He's going to put up a cycle. But it's pretty impressive, the 2 different strategies we see here. That it's a tech foul, though, getting assigned to Blue. And Blue lost... Well, they didn't lose, but they could have had the series already, and the tech foul made the difference here. So they really have to be avoiding those sloppy plays coming in, because that's going to hurt their chances here. You can only have so many ties before you deal with that. Logan, again, having a runaway from Anthony there after being in the enemy territory for a long time. That was a big hit coming in, dragging Anthony off, but Anthony had no power cells left in him. Anthony now going for Brennan as Logan goes for Cone. Looks like Logan, though, going to get spawned out again.
Wow, second
and
one.
And this is the difference here. But at the end of the day, Logan holding Cone down was not able to get that climb. 291 to 301. I didn't even realize the match was that close to over. But the climb coming in for Brennan, 301 to 291. That means that Brennan has taken this series. For Team Brennan, Logan, and Codster, rather, taking the series. So that score is final, 291 to 301. The climb not coming in, making a big difference. The tech foul that Logan had on him, those 15 points. Brennan not even getting the climb, actually, only 5 points. So, what could have been a much larger win margin here didn't happen.
Wasn't there 2 tech fouls against the Blue Alliance?
There may have been a reset from what I could tell, or the respawn could have come in after the match was over, which would have made a difference, actually. It looks like Logan may have respawned after the match was over, which kind of sealed the deal at the end.
Let's see if we can bring up a replay here to check that out. I'd be very interested to see that.
For sure, that would be quite interesting, because that was a big, big close match.
All right, let's take a look.
For sure. So with 7 seconds left, we see Anthony go straight to Brennan. Logan making his way to Codster. Yeah, he goes in for the pin, but because it's so late in the match, it doesn't even matter. The pin doesn't count. That was very strategic, actually, from Logan. Very impressive decision-making as he just abandons Anthony completely, knowing that, nothing can happen to you if the timer's under 5 seconds, excluding climb defense, obviously. So, well done. That is the beat down mode. And now to round off today, obviously, if we need a tiebreaker, we've got a few options here. We'll get the ref to come and explain what the official tiebreaker would be if we get there. But for now,
Tay and I will play each other since we're both solidly in lower tiers.
Yeah, we have to get drafted. Next, it's not just the all-stars, it's the all-flops.
Yes.
So this is going to be the 1v1. LOL, we meet again, they say in chat. Brennan versus Nick 862. Brennan, I don't think the odds are in his favor this time. Nick 862 having lots of experience in single-player mode, but Autonomous will make the difference here. They've played each other in 1v1s before. Brennan did come on top for the 1v1 tournament. But for now, let's watch as we see robots crossing the field. Nick getting all those power cells. Brennan scooping up all those power cells. Looks like one will miss for Brennan as it rolls away. But 48-42 for now. Putting up power cells. Brennan having a little bit of a jam means he's gonna be down, and it's gonna be definitely not something that he wants to see. 99-80. We're gonna see now races to the rendezvous zone. It's gonna be a long one here. Settle in, ladies and gentlemen. Brennan's gonna go for the defense on Nick, just so that he can have first priority, and he does make some of Nick's shots miss, and that gives him first priority to the rendezvous zone. We will see Nick now going to score. Brennan instead abandoning, going straight for the rendezvous zone, and will go to hit Nick. So Brennan slowly clawing his way back from that autonomous deficit, but a rough autonomous mode and a bit of a jam means he had a slow cycle start. And Nick really can afford to just kind of play defense here, push Brennan around. As Nick goes to fire off some shots, Brennan will do the same while he can, and that's a big volley coming in from Brennan. They are going to race to the rendezvous zone, and Nick gets the advantage there. Brennan coming in a little bit late for the hit, but he'll go straight for the rendezvous zone to pick up those power cells. 107-152, so the advantage still to Nick. Nick trying to carry the hopes and dreams of Team Cone. We do see the first-person view from Nick 862 going in for that rendezvous zone. We see him going straight to the wall, while Brennan going for that cycle of his own. He's keeping it close compared to the auto deficit, but it's definitely a difficult match here. 45 seconds left. 165-141 as Brennan puts up another cycle, make that 177-146. So Brennan putting up, that's only 5 power cells, I believe, in his intake, and he's going to go straight for the rendezvous zone instead. With only 28 seconds left in the match, Brennan trying to catch Nick out in a pin. Not able to do so there, and instead 2 shots missed into cyberspace with 19 seconds left in the match. We're going to see Brennan put up some power cells, cleaning off the ones that are kind of over the field, but I think this one's pretty much decided here. 200-162 before climbs. I mean, Nick could miss the climb maybe. That might help. But as we go up, it's definitely, auto makes the difference here. 240-205. This first one in the best of 5 going to the Red Alliance, Team Cone.
Yeah, I really love seeing Cone there, or not Cone, Nick in particular, was able to get some shots off as he was still moving forward towards the goal. So instead of getting there and waiting, he actually started firing as he was moving towards the goal and some of his strafe moves and some of his volleys. And I really love to see that. It's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me, I used to play a lot of World of Tanks back in the day, and it's in World of Tanks many times you have to fully stop before you fire. And in this game it's kind of similar, but Nick seems to have a pretty good master on getting 3 or 4 power cells to go out as he's moving full force towards the port as well.
Yeah, so it's definitely something you're seeing Nick having that world record, and he seemed to kind of figure it out before everyone else did. All of a sudden, he's putting up world records of, first he hit 420, then he hit 435, then he hit 440, then he hit 450. Everyone was kind of later had to catch up to him, so he's still kind of in that zone where he really is dominating single player mode for now. Brennan is definitely one of those ones that's not far behind, but he is not the favorite in this matchup, and we saw there auto Nick moving around a little bit faster, making that difference, and we'll see if it happens again. Brennan again stopping before he lines up. Nick not doing the same, and those 2 power cells for Brennan getting away from him. 30-52 early on, so definitely precision here not helping out. Brennan's going to be on the back foot. This time not by nearly as much, 76-62, but definitely still Blue Alliance. Brennan 44.76 on the back foot. We'll see what happens in the rendezvous zone. A big hit between these two robots, but Nick getting priority over most of those power cells. Brennan will go under the opponent's trench to slide under and pick up as many as he can, but Nick's already put up a full cycle, and we'll see him start to play defense on Brennan, which really, if he's able to do for the entire match, will make the difference. Otherwise, Brennan's going to be scoring, 2-3 shots the entire time, which very well might happen. We saw that in our 1v1 tournament the other day. Brennan gets one off, picks it up out of the rendezvous zone. He's able to get one in the inner port there, but misses two. We'll have to put up a cycle. He does get two more in, so he's slowly clawing his way back with 1:12. So Nick's going to respond, having seen Brennan climb back from that deficit. He's going to respond with a few power cell shots of his own. But Brennan does have time to get in a big cycle there. Still not enough. He is down 12 points. We'll see if he's able to come back from it. Brennan trying to, shoot and move, but wasn't able to get it that time. Nick still with the advantage here, 129 to 107. Brennan really only getting a few shots in at a time, trying to hold Nick off from pulling away with the score. As Brennan tries to line up as close to the wall as he can with 30 seconds left. He's got it closer, 114 to 129. That shot misses. He'll get another one. He'll get a second one in for 2 points. And now that cycle going into the inner port. So 129 to 126. Nick's going to come in with a cycle to respond. Brennan will do the same. So that actually makes it quite close. With 12 seconds left, we'll see what this cycle comes in from Brennan. These matches are some of the longest matches ever, I swear. With 4 seconds left, we'll see what happens. With the climb, though, definitely going to the blue alliance. Closer this time.
Red alliance.
208. So yeah. Going to the red alliance, 208 to 185. Otto again making the difference for the most part. But a different style of game here. This time we saw a lot more defense from Nick. 208 to 185. That score will stand. So now Brennan needs to do a reverse sweep if he wants to win this challenge for his team. So we'll definitely see a lot more, Brennan getting a few more teleop points than his competitor, but the auto making a lot of difference there. And Brennan kind of knew when he was discussing this pick list last night, he was having some trouble trying to figure out what he would do to deal with Nick, knowing that Nick would be the first overall pick. Not necessarily knowing, but kind of figuring. And just trying to figure out what's the response there. Do you throw the 1v1s or do you kind of try and carry the whole way through? And it looks like he's trying to carry the 1v1s for his team, but having some trouble for now. Again, the option always stands. Brennan and Nick, you can sub for either one of us. Could go just fine.
All right, looks like they're good to go.
Obviously in Twitch chat, we've got some cheering on both sides. Will Nick seal the deal or will Brennan begin the reverse sweep?
Brennan's definitely a good tactician in these, and you see him adjusting quickly, but I don't know if he's going to be able to overtake Nick in this match here.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it's going to come down to auto. This time, Brennan not losing those two power cells, though, so that may help. Only one of them this time falling. 50 to 46 is the start of auto. This one's going to be a lot closer, I can tell already. 15 points. But at the same time, looks like Nick going straight for that rendezvous zone to pick up the power cells. I think this one's still got to be, you got to say it's in favor of Nick. But, crazier things can happen. Brennan definitely knowing when to take advantage of his competitors and when to just fire away. Nick going for a more offensive strategy this time. Last time we saw him kind of take the lead and run with it, but going for more cycles. Brennan plays a little bit of D, but not enough this time. He will go under the opponent trench to clear out those power cells and put them away before the defender comes and hits them. 138 to 129, though, so a lot closer this time. And we do see Nick now lining up. Brennan trying to play defense, but his circle is very, very large. So that shot misses, and Brennan able to pick that up, actually, right out of the rebound. That'll help him, but he's going to respawn. Brennan throwing this match, he did a big play there to throw that, and that kind of sets the tone because now Nick just has to play defense. After that, we're gonna see power cells going around. Brennan picking up as much as he can. He goes to pop the hopper. That's a very aggressive strategy here. It may work out for him, but it most likely will be his end because Nick now has access to so many power cells. You know, Brennan obviously trying to do what he can to play that heavy D, but it's probably not going to be enough. Obviously, some of those power cells now gone. Nick firing them away. Brennan putting up a volley. The first one missing. You can see he's just kind of out of shape here, dealing with that defense. I didn't mean actually out of shape. I just meant on the field. Power cells coming in. You know, he's having a hard time. Nick now really playing the right strategy, just waiting. You know, if neither of them score, he's got it. Nick, you know, the biggest thing Nick could do to throw this match would be to get a tech foul. We saw Brennan do that earlier, and it kind of sealed the deal. We'll see if that is what's going to change the outcome of this match. With 2 seconds left, looks like that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 251 to 186. I mean, now we have to figure out what a friggin' tiebreaker we're doing. That score is final. So now we have to figure out what's next. But that series does go 3-0, a complete sweep, Nick to Brennan. So we'll see now what happens. So apparently, are you serious, Cobby?
The plan for the tiebreaker
Wait,
event,
Nick.
the 7th event.
Yes. Okay, this is actually happening. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was kidding.
Is to do a 7th event. And who wants to announce it? Do you want to announce it, or you want me to say it?
Go ahead, Nick.
I'll get the head referee to come in and explain it.
We're going to be doing a local only 3v3 series.
Everyone must play once.
Ooh.
So this means, yeah, so it's FTC style almost. You have 6 people. So your first 2 matches are going to be completely different rosters. Your third match, you can get whoever you want on the field if you get to 3. They have to play with the FRC robot.
Oh, they have to do the FRC bot, huh?
They have to play with the FRC robot.
Savage.
It's not Pushbot. So I'm gonna get the head ref to go in and explain. Head ref can go explain that to the teams individually. Because I don't think they knew. I don't think they had anticipated this. This is a big change coming up. This is Pushbot 3. I mean, I don't even know how you play that. Obviously, I know you can set it up to do low goal scoring, but some of these people won't do that. Tyler, what do you think of what you're hearing now?
What is the Pushbot 3?
Well, they're just joking that it was Pushbot 3.
Oh, okay. I mean,
they will be using the infinite recharge robot, but they'll only be able to shoot for the local, which is the Pushbot's also only able to go for the local, but they'll be able to store a lot more than one at a time.
Yeah, I mean, you can score. I mean, if you get a little bit, you might need a little bit of practice, but you can score in the low port pretty easily enough. You have to be pretty precisely lined up though, which is why I think defense will make a big difference in this.
We are now having a little bit of controversy here. People being told that maybe different things in the drivers' meeting than they're hearing now. So don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger.
I'm gonna mute you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, we're going to watch, I was referring to 2016, sorry, not 2006. So, yeah, so if anybody remembers how 2016 ended, let's just do it that way. What do you guys think? Here, let's take a look. Ready?
Tesla, we do have a final score. That score on its way. We were tied 225 to 225. You go to penalty points. There was a blue foul. So, Red, Carver is your victor here at first.
To everyone, kind of what's going on. There was just a bit of a misunderstanding among staff members on what our plan was. But we are going to go to the tiebreakers as discussed in the drivers' meeting. So while it may be a little bit anticlimactic, and I'm sorry for that, it will be the number of matches won. So in that case, we do have Team Cone coming out as the victor of our all-star event. So that's a big congrats to Captain Cone, Nick 862, Adam, Alex 1477, Bacon and Anthony as our victors, and a big thanks to playing to our finalists, Brennan, theoretically RJ9, and then Logan, Richard, Labib, Yan Yang, and Codster. We are going to have the option for a logo-only match, just kind of chilling on some servers, though, so just like for a bit of fun. But as per the regulations that were discussed by the people in advance, we are going to have to go with the tiebreaker mode. But if you want to play some low-goal stuff, could be a lot of fun. So that's going to be an option for guys who just want to, fool around as well. So a little bit of a 2016 anticlimactic ending, but yeah, join the Fantasy First Discord. We're going to play, we can play some low goal matches and stuff. But other than that, I think with that, thank you for sticking with us all evening and afternoon. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but a huge congrats again to our two teams. And the true winner here is always Team Cobby. We won here. Your streaming staff won the event. We are the all-stars, but also Team Cone, your victors. So a big thanks to everyone for hanging out with us. Thanks for playing. We loved having you. And don't forget, tomorrow we got Vex. So stay tuned for that.